Hello everyone, Felix here. Oh man. Okay, so I had a rough morning. I had a rough morning to be entirely honest with you. Um in general, yeah, I had I had a rough morning. I had a rough morning. I've not been feeling too well here, but hopefully I'll be fine. I'll be fine though. And decided to do this today. I've been wanting to do one of these kinds of I guess it fits because the like First Light is still developing. They've released more stuff, more trailers for the game, and I have been listening a lot, unironically, to the Lana Del Rey song, which is funny because despite me knowing well and who she is, I don't know a lot of her music besides the oh, excuse me. I don't know. I'm not entirely familiar with it. I'm not I'm not entirely familiar with their music outside of First Light and I think a few other things, so that's funny. But anyways, I always thought where was I gonna go with this? Something I wanted to do for a while because as we all can probably tell, whenever someone orders a Brandtini in Valhalla, or as I like to autistically call it, VA11 Halla, I always brag about, oh, it's for this. Oh, it's because they shake the martini in order to evenly distribute the ice. Okay, so we are in fact live. Okay. They shake the martini in order to evenly distribute the ice, or it's something to do with the gin. I can't remember exactly what we're gonna test that knowledge today. Let's see how like actually autistic I am when it comes to this shit. And we are going to be looking at like I guess we're looking more at the we're going back to the cocktail side. The last time I did this was for St. Patrick's Day, and it was a beer. It was beer. Um, it was beer related. But here's the fun part about today. Today was supposed to be not a joke. It was going to be a Metal Gear 1 playthrough. The issue is that I don't have a controller. However, because I like that will be coming next week because the next time I will be live is unironically April 30th, as in Metal Gear Solid 2 Sons of Liberty Day, so I cannot let you down there, and I will attempt to play Metal Gear 1, and not Metal Gear Solid 1, Metal Gear 1, with a mouse and keyboard. I want to see if it can be done. I want to see if it can be done with my literal Frankenstein like life support RoboCop setup that I've got with my broken laptop that I am still streaming from, by the way. But that is what I will be doing then. But for now, something because unironically, not a like yeah, maybe it's LARP, but Bond has legitimately influenced some of my drinks choices in real life. Like whenever there's some kind of martini, like this was most. I think yeah, it most came from Die Another Day. Y'all know that I think one of my favorite like simpler cocktails is a Cuba Libre, which is basically it's rum and coke with lime juice. I've made it before for myself, and I like as someone who loves soda. It is very both who loves both soda and rum. It's really good, but the more genuine Cuban cocktail is widely considered to be the mojito is widely considered to be the mojito, and this is unironic. And like having had like a share of mojito. Good luck with Metal Gear. Yeah, I hope I like again. This is the version that I was going to run was the 1987 version, not 1998. The 1987 like semi side scroller with the pixel graphics and all that. The 16-bit. That was the one I was going to play, but Well, we'll see if I can get that running next week, but I decided to do this today because it would probably be a simpler affair. But I have like again, Bond in real life like has influenced my taste in alcohol, and I ordered one of these before, and I genuinely loved it. White rum, sugar cane juice. Oh, usually, well, I guess most versions that I've had this with, just use most versions that I've had this with use some kind of some kind of like powdered like regular granulated sugar, I think, dissolved in the drink, lime juice, soda water, and mint. But yeah, I've ordered these. I've ordered this. This is a good like a tropical. Like again, I've been to Hawaii, and I've tried to make my own sex on the beach before. This isn't classified as a tiki drink, but this is definitely a tropical one because again, this is authentic Cuban, and I have like I like Cuban cocktails a lot. I tend to I do realize that I like those quite a bit. But this like because Pierce Brosnan drank one of these and died another day, I've ordered one for like my birthday before, and I've been mocked by it by people people in chat. They've called it gay. I don't think it's gay. It's a damn good cocktail is what it is. But oh, it was Ernest Hemingway's favorite drink. My daiquiri and El Floridita. Don Julio Mojito Blanco by replacing rum with tequila. I haven't had tequila neat, so I've had a little bit of vodka neat. So, but I guess here's your here's the obligatory green text about this kind of this kind of stream. Shaken, not stirred. I got curious and wanted to know if there was an actual difference between shaking a martini and stirring it. I thought it wouldn't matter since you're just mixing the ingredients, but apparently a study was conducted to determine if the preparation of a martini had any influence on its antioxidant capacity. The study found that shaken gin martinis were able to break down hydrogen peroxide and leave only 0.072% of the peroxide behind, while the stirred gin martini left behind 0.157% of the peroxide. Based on this information, I have concluded that for James Bond to be able to detect a difference this small, he must be massively autistic. Here's the thing. Unironically, if you're familiar with the books, Bond is unironically autistic. Like, that's what he is. Yeah, he's not in the ways that and he's not a spur. He's like very good in social situations, but the way he like conducts himself and his affairs is extremely autistic because like I feel like while I don't have a source on this. But having read an abridged version of Around the World in 80 Days and having read the original Casino Royale, I know most of Bond was supposed to be Ian Fleming's like sort of semi self insert, but I couldn't help it. Either Fleming himself was autistic, which is highly likely, or he was partially like inspired by people like Phileas Fogg, if you know 20 Around the World in 80 Days. Because like the way he conducts himself is extremely autistic in the way that he does things. As for non-alcohol, for example, the movie You Only Live Twice, which I watched recently for my last stream with Kilroy, Bon opts for sake over his usual martini, indicating he especially likes it when it is served at the correct temperature of 98.4. Which I don't think even Japanese people know this, because like the correct temperature for sake. I know, isn't it supposed to be room temperature? 98.4 degrees. Yeah, that's Floridian. That's like slightly warm for northerners, and Floridian room temperature for us down here. I guess it's room temperature in Okinawa, but like it's just like who does this? who does this? It's like it is like um who does that? Who does that shit? It's like in the film. Yeah, I don't remember this because I haven't seen Diamonds Are Forever in a long time. But I genuinely but I genuinely like love that movie. In the movie Diamonds Are Forever, Bond savors a glass of sherry and fools M into thinking Bond has made a mistake when he pronounces the year of make 1951. When Bond is informed that sherry has no vintage, he replies to a nonplussed M that he was discussing discerning the vintage of the wine which the sherry was based 1850. Like who does this shit? This is like this is why Dalton's Bond is the most accurate because it shows him being autistic. Um, yeah, it's just like in a single pinch of black pepper to a glass of fine wolfsmith, and like because of this, because of how there's a certain way that Fleming writes, and he is extremely detailed when he writes the existence of the Vesper, and everyone has said either the vodka martini, which is like customary, like so something should be noted is that the Vesper, like that the vodka martini, is an invention of the movies. In Doctor No, Bond orders a vodka martini because in order to get because Doctor No was sponsored by Smirnoff. As in like which is ironically like oh it's of the little vodka that I have tasted, and I actually quite like Smirnoff. I think it's rather sweet. I could have it again. Then again, Smirnoff is the stuff that made me throw up my guts out after trying to make a sex on the beach with it. I don't entirely like just like drink responsibly, kids. But yeah, shaken not stirred. When it comes to this kind of thing, hold on. Let me lower the BGM. Let me lower the BGM because this is until he in the film adaptations of yeah, hold on. Let's pull up the martini because this is a like this because this has become a byword of anything served in a martini glass even when it has no relation to one. And by the way, Bond's choice of a deep champagne goblet, which is a champagne flute, for the Vesper Martini, is the correct choice. As beautiful as martini glasses are, they are kind of messy if you don't know how to drink from them. You're supposed to drink them very shallow, but if you try to drink more than like, it's kind of like it's like the greedy cup in a way because hold on. Glass in a chilled cocktail glass because this like I think these are very pretty glasses, but like the martini glass these can be a hassle because because the lip of the glass, excuse me, the lip of the glass is so wide that you might spill some of it. The large rim allowed the drink to be easily disposed of. As a modernist take on the champagne coupe, yeah, the coupe. I think this might have been no deep. So he's specifying a champagne flute, actually. As films in a modernist take, formally introduced in the 1925 Paris exhibition as a modernist take on the champagne coupe, and wasn't originally used as it is today. In films in the 1920s, it was used to show champagne like the coupe. However, despite the design taking influence from the geometric aesthetics of the era architecture, interiors, and furnishings, it was designed less for aesthetics and more for functionality, with the longer stem reducing the warming effect of body heat upon the contents of the glass, and wide and brim increasing surface area, supposedly allowing the gin, the main ingredient in martinis, to release its bouquet. Steeply sloping sides prevent ingredients separating and had also served to support a toothpick or olives on a cocktail skewer. So yeah, so that's where that comes from. But the martini, when it comes to these, Bond never actually orders never actually orders a vodka martini besides the Vesper in the books, to my recollection at least. Most like again, the vodka martini is a movie invention. Most of his martinis drank in the books are gin. I have had gin martinis before, I think, or at least like gin cocktails or like gin mixers, and I think I think I quite like them. I've never had gin neat, and it's something I want to try. I've never had gin neat, but yeah, a dry martini said when in a deep champagne goblet. Oui, monsieur. Just a moment. 3 measures of Gordon's, 1 of vodka, half a measure of Quina Lillet. Shake it very well until it's ice cold, then add a large thin slice of lemon peel. Got it? Certainly, monsieur. The barman seemed pleased with the idea. Gosh, that's certainly a drink, said Leiter. Fun fact, like breaking character, guess who I'm named after. Guess who I'm named after. But, three guesses. But, said Leiter. Bond laughed. When I'm concentrating, I never have more than one drink before dinner. But I do like that one to be very large and very strong and very cold and very well made. I hate small portions of anything, particularly when they taste bad. The drink's my own invention. I'm going to patent it when I think of a good name. And the drink will later be referred to as a Vesper, after the first Bond girl, Vesper Lind. A Vesper differs from Bond's usual cocktail of choice. The martini is that it uses both gin and vodka, Quina Lillet instead of vermouth, because vermouth is usually the because Quina Lillet, I've mentioned this before. It's an aperitif. This is a so this is usually served neat after a after a meal. This is usually served neat after a meal. Hold on, let me decrease the volume. Like before or after a meal. Hold on. Serving Lillet. Served on ice with a slice of. So yeah, it's usually served alone by itself. Lillet. The version the Quina Lillet has been replaced with Lillet Blanc. Wine-based aperitif. I've never seen one of these in real life before. I've never have. Shake it very well until it's ice cold, which is where I got the idea that shaking it evenly distributes the ice throughout. I just shit all over the Porta John, deadass. Oh shit. Are you no pun intended. Are you okay? Great terrible artist, are you okay? You have something in your stomach or what's going on in there? Because like we can't have you shitting your brains out on my stream. We got to get you to I don't know, take some Tums, take some Pepto-Bismol, take care of yourself out there. Make sure to drink some water if it's diarrhea. Lemon peel instead of an olive. That I didn't know because because usually to me olives are like tomatoes. I know salt has been used before for drinks, but salt are like tomatoes. Yes, I mean, olives are like tomatoes to me. Yes, they are they are they are very they are fruits, and they are olives are very very much fruits, but they are very salty, and I eat them as a companion to nuts or meat, and never as a fruit, because fruits to me are supposed to be sugary. They're supposed to be sweet. I don't and to me drinks drinks should not be savory. Drinks should never be savory. Drinks should never be savory. Drinks should at least be either they can be bitter, they can be smooth, or they can be sour, and they should be sweet, but they should not be savory. They can be bitter, they should not be savory. There should be some hint of sweetness in every drink, to me, which is why I prefer sweet cocktails. 3 and a large slice of lemon peel, a lemon peel instead of an olive, in the same scene, but because I don't think he has ordered, I'm not sure if he has ordered an olive martini before, but most of, after this, most of the vodka martinis in the movies have been, are served with lemon instead of olive. This the same vodka the same bartender that vodka made from grain rather than potatoes makes the drink even better. Kinder Lillet is no longer available. Russian and Polish vodkas, probably also Finnish vodka, was also preferred by Bond if they were in stock. Although there was a lot of discussion on the Vesper, it was only ordered once throughout Ian Fleming's novels, and by later books, Bond is ordering regular vodka. Oh, my bad. Is ordering regular vodka martinis. However, he also drinks regular gin martinis. In total, Bond orders 19 vodka martinis and 16 gin martinis throughout Fleming's novels and short stories. So I was wrong. He does order a vodka martini. The only goes to show how much there is to this series and how much little details matter. The first appearance of a contrast between shaken and stirred is in the novel Diamonds Are Forever. Notice the presence of and, which was later dropped in the shirt, which was later dropped in the films. The waiter brought the martinis, shaken not stirred, as Bond had stipulated, with some slivers of lemon peel in a shot glass. In a shot glass, which is was he meaning a high ball or a low ball? Because you don't serve that many cocktails in it. You don't you're not gonna serve those kinds of deep cocktails or big drinks in a shot glass. First said by Bond in the novel Doctor No. And I would like a medium vodka dry martini with a slice of lemon peel, shaken and not stirred, please. I would prefer Russian or Polish vodka. And the shaken martini. Okay, so you know what? We're gonna go into the because there was a major discussion on shaken or stirred. We're gonna cover the Vesper first. Hold on, because this is loading.
Gentlemen, do you want to make drinks just like James Bond?
I think I've
Do you
watched
want
one
to
of these
learn which
before.
drinks he's actually drinking in the books or the movies? Or have you ever been curious about what goes into these drinks to make them taste so good? Well, you're in luck because
To be
today we'll
honest,
be
I've never had a real I have had fruit juice flavored martinis before with real alcohol, of course, but I've never had a genuine like a genuine model martini before. I've had approximations of martinis. I've never had a martini as prepared like this before.
doing something a little bit different. I'm launching a new series on this channel that will teach you how to make
Bro ain't got his chat up. I'm kecking. Posting from said Portageon. The fuck do you mean tomato olives? Tomato eating them as a snack. Yeah, I agree. You're missing out then. In relation to the in relation to the martinis or relation to the Oh, hold on. Yeah, there's my chat. My bad. Bro ain't got his chat up. I thought it did. I thought it was active. Okay.
drinks just like James Bond. And today we're beginning with arguably the most iconic drink
Okay,
of
you're
the
missing
series,
out then. You mean eating putting olives in drinks because I wouldn't do that.
the Vesper Martini.
Because to me, lemon peel is the logical topping, well, the logical garnish for a cocktail, for a martini.
So if you want to learn what makes these drinks special and how you can create them with the style and precision of Bond at home, then stick around because by the end of this video, you'll know how to make the perfect Vesper Martini just like 007. If that sounds interesting, then let's dive into it.
I feel High Felix's future lawyers in 2029. What? Well, for what? Savory drinks. I'm not what do you Tommy? What do you like
Hi
about savory
everyone,
drinks? I
I'm
would like
Nick
to
and welcome
know.
to Gents Club, where we put out weekly gentlemen's content. Today is going to be the first of many Drinking with James Bond
His
videos.
voice is a bit slow, is a bit
This
low,
idea came
so
to me because a couple of years ago, a friend of mine actually bought me this book for my birthday. It's called Shaken, Drinking with James Bond and Ian Fleming, and it's the official cocktail book of 007. It features all the drinks ever shown in the Bond movies and in the Bond books, gives some history on them, speaks about where they appear, and teaches you how to make them. I thought it might be fun to turn these into videos for all of you so you can learn to make them at home. Also, if any of you have been watching the podcast episodes where I sit down with successful men and chat with them over some self and made these drinks for my guests. So if that interests you, subscribe to this channel so you can receive these videos each month.
all
I'll be
right.
creating one every other Saturday, and so you can try them at home. As I mentioned, the first drink we'll be making is the iconic Vesper Martini. Named after the first ever Bond girl, Vesper Lynn, and featured in Casino Royale, this drink is perhaps the most famous drink in the Bond series. It makes it
It's only ordered in the movies. It only ever makes like two appearances. One in Casino Royale, of course, because you really can't have that movie without the without the Vesper Martini, and Quantum of Solace, which was only based on a title that Fleming used. And I don't think it was no, it wasn't based on any Fleming work, but it was supposed to be a direct sequel to Casino Royale. So that's what they did with it.
makes its debut in the well-known scene where Bond is playing poker and he's just lost a hand to Lashif. It's almost like he's purposely trying to make a statement by ordering this drink and comes up with it on the spot, noting later that it's not half bad and that he's going
So he kind of so he gets rage baited, and then he autistically comes up with a cocktail on the spot, and then orders a bartender to make it. So like it makes you take a have I tried this before? Like I have tried it once in real life. A few times in real life, not because I was getting rage baited, but because of like it's there. So I decided I was gonna hold on. I was trying. I came up like when I was at like my cousin's like a party, like a New Year's party, or like it was her engagement party, but it was held after New Year, held by my cousin. I she had this like mango flavored beer with it, and I combined it with ginger ale, and decided, you know what, the flavors go together. Um, so I decided, I called it the Little Fruity. There were no portion sizes involved. I just mix drink. I just do it. I just mix drinks on the regular just because it's there.
to have to think of a name.
I remember I tried like making a virgin mimosa, which is like orange juice and Sprite, which is really just Fanta from first principles. So that wasn't like, but that was years ago before I was legally allowed to drink. So whatever, I was just like fucking around.
Name for it. 3 measures of gold.
Sorry, brain is still half dead. I find it makes it makes it not make me as sick. Sugar mixes poorly with heavy drinking. I mean, sugar like to me, like I'm aware I'm a lightweight, so I can put a stem. Like I can put limits to myself on certain drinks. Like the most like wine glasses or beer bottles that I'll have in a day is like two. Um will never order more than two cocktails per night, and like that's it. But like I know how to limit myself. You have to, yeah, you have to be half dead to watch a Felix drink Loki. You know what? You know what? Real. I like this is low effort content. This is what it is, and I'm trying to like rack my brain around certain things. The savory drinks, but the thing is, I like again. Like I have ranted multiple times here that the Bloody Mary is an affront to mankind. It is not a drink. It is not a cocktail. It is a soup. If you put meat in a drink, like again, I love meat, but if you put meat in a drink, that's not a drink anymore. That's a soup. Don't lie to yourself. Again, if you start putting vegetables in a drink, it's not right. It's not right to me. Something in my OCD, it like just like doesn't gel with it at all. So it doesn't work well for me.
One of vodka, half a measure of quinoa lily, shake it over rice, and then add a thin slice of lemon peel.
My dad, rest in peace, would pound so many Coronas when we went to play pool at the bar. Then he'd only be buzzed. My mom would be more than buzzed having cheap barefoot wine. By barefoot wine, do you mean like boxed wine? Um, do you mean like cheap, like over the counter, like box wine or something like that?
Yes, sir.
I've only ever seen, oh, excuse me, outside of wine bars. I don't think like I thought of like wine bars or like restaurant bars. I've never actually seen a someone order a wine from the bar, except for except for like a literal moment, one moment in Top Gear where Richard Hammond orders a glass of wine for James May when they're at like this at this like country bar, and he orders himself and Clarkson two beers instead.
You know, that's not half bad. I'm gonna have to think up a name for that.
The Vesper Martini is a bit of a twist on
You know, as much as I like hate Craig, Craig's Bond in the like I've rated it before last stream because I don't think he plays the character fully like to its full potential, but I can't lie, he like especially in Casino Royale where like a lot of memes are still focused on him being Bond in Casino Royale. He does carry a lot of presence that I like in that movie.
On a regular martini, where a regular martini calls for either gin or vodka and dry vermouth. The Vesper
Most of the poker scenes, admittedly, are like fucking aura farming for Craig in that
martini
movie.
differs in that it has both gin and vodka, and replaces the dry vermouth.
Oh, the cheap white Zinndale wine, the ones in tiny plastic containers. Well, wine is soup as well. Many things fall into being soup. Wine is not a soup. Wine is derived from is fermented from a single ingredient. That is not a soup. That is like calling that is like calling it's like calling salt and water a soup. It's not. I once got a drink from a Mexican owned gas station in a bad part of town that had shrimp and bacon in it. Did it have tomatoes in it? Because you got a Bloody Mary, and again, I would consider that a soup.
With Pinot Lillet.
And I wouldn't trust shellfish from like a shitty part of town. I just wouldn't. Like if it's like shrimp or crab and it's not perfectly preserved, that could like wreak fucking havoc on your body. We all know what happened to Rooney. Again, as a lunatic, we all know what happened to Rooney in the oyster incident. Where she was hospitalized for the fucking oysters.
Aromatized wine from France infused with quinine.
Quinine, is that like?
Unfortunately, Pinot Lillet was discontinued in 1986, but we have a few different options we can use to substitute the ingredient. We can either use Coqui Americano, which closely replicates the engaging bitter notes as this book recommends.
Oh, I see.
Or we can also use Lillet Blanc, which
oh
is
yeah, Lillet Blanc is the one that comes to mind for me because the original recipe calls for Quinoa Lillet. In my mind, it always pops up as Lillet Blanc because I know Quinoa Lillet doesn't exist anymore. But Cochi Americano, Cochi Cochi Americano. Hold on, let me look that up. Oh, it's a type of wine. So it's a aperitif wine. Cochi Americano. It's a white wine. It's a variety of Americano. Again, I'm not familiar with the a variety of Americano. Quinquina is an aromatized wine, a variety of aperitif. Chinchon, introduced by quinine, whatever. Introduced to Europe from Peru in the 17th century by Spanish missionaries, and used both in treating malaria and as the principal ingredient in tonic water. So this is like tonic wine, Americano. Cochi America. So an Americano, I guess, referring to South America. So it's tonic wine. It's a type of tonic wine.
Sweeter wine-based version with reduced quinine.
You would be shocked how little it takes to count as a soup. No tomatoes. It tasted like straight lime juice and hot sauce. This is like 5 years back. Okay, so like again, if it's lime juice, then it stays a cocktail. Like no, here's the thing. What you got, Dantioch? What you got was was meat was like roadside meat brined and like marinated in lime juice and the hot sauce. That is not a drink. Again, which is why I hated it. Whenever and the first time I did an ethanol education, which was a Valhalla themed stream, and I saw so many drinks called for hot sauce in them. I was like furious because I don't like the idea of hot sauce in my drinks.
Content. This was the version that replaced.
And I don't think Bond would either.
And it's the version I'll be using here today. Now, there's some speculation over how Ian Fleming actually came up with the name Vesper Martini. The actual meaning of the word Vesper goes back to Latin, where it means evening star, and Vespers are evening prayers. Apparently, Fleming came up with the name Vesper Lynn as he was on an old, isolated plantation house on the north coast of Jamaica and was served a cocktail of iced rum, fruit, and herbs. The butler that served this drink was said to have announced the cocktail by saying, "Vespers are served." Fleming was also reported to joke that Vesperlin sounded like West Berlin in a German accent, which would make a really good name for a Cold War double agent. There's also some speculation that Vesperlin was inspired by Christine Granville, who was a spy and Polish agent of the British Special Operations Executive during the Second World War. It's been rumored that Fleming had an affair with her and that her father's nickname for her was actually Vesperal. But it doesn't matter where
Yeah, of course he
it
did.
just matters how you can make it. So let's jump in and show you how to make it up to Bond standards. To make this drink, you'll need some simple ingredients. First, you'll need a
Hold on,
premium gin.
I clicked away
The
for a
moving gin
second.
that's used is Gordon's gin, and I actually have some of that here with me today. So I'll be using Gordon's.
Hold on, I clicked away. What was I trying to
on the
remember?
north coast of Jamaica, and was served a cocktail, which is a sweeter wine-based version with reduced quinine content. This was the version that replaced Quina Lillet in their product lineup, and it's the version I'll be using here today. Now, there's some speculation over how Ian Fleming actually came up with the name Vesper Martini. The actual meaning of the word Vesper goes back to Latin, where it means evening star, and Vespers are evening prayers. Apparently, Fleming came up with the name Vesperlin as he was on an old, isolated plantation house on the north coast of Jamaica and was served a cocktail of iced rum, fruit, and herbs. The butler that served this drink was said to have announced the cocktail by saying, "Vespers are served." Fleming was also reported to joke that Vesperlin sounded like West Berlin in a German accent, which would make a really good name for a Cold War double agent. There's also some speculation that Vesperlin was inspired by Christine Granville, who was a spy and Polish agent of the British Special Operations Executive during the Second World War. It's been rumored that Fleming had an affair with her and that her father's nickname for her was actually Vesperal. But it doesn't matter where the drink comes from, it just matters how you can make it. So let's jump in.
This is what I was looking for. Like every drink that Bond's had in the movies.
You'll need some simple ingredients. First, you'll need a premium gin. In the movie,
Premium
the
gin
that's used is Gordon's gin, and I actually have some of that here with me today. So I'll be using Gordon's. Second, you'll need some Russian vodka.
Oh, is that Stolichnaya?
For that, I'll be using Stoli. Now, Stoli actually originated in the Soviet Union, but it's technically made today in Latvia.
Oh, okay.
But I'm still going to use that one.
Hold on, is that Stolich? Hold on, isn't? Hold on, Stolich. Yeah, Stolichnaya. This is in Stalker, right? Isn't this in Stoli? Changed the name of its vodka to its nickname Stoli in a direct response to Russians' invasion of the Ukraine. So yeah, so this is Stolichnaya, a 1938 Soviet vodka. This like people who play Stalker, was this in Stalker? Was this like or a brand based on Stolichnaya? Was this in Stalker? Because I'm pretty sure it might have been.
As I mentioned earlier, you'll also need
And Gordon's gin
or Lillet Blanc. That will substitute for the Quina Lillet,
which is made today.
Lillet Blanc. This is what it looks like. And finally,
Gordon's gin.
You will also need a lemon,
dry, so a London dry gin,
and a lot of ice. That will substitute for the Quina Lillet. I'm going to be using Lillet Blanc. This is what it looks like. And finally, you will also need a lemon for the garnish and a lot of ice.
Coochie Americana dang, we still getting pussy to the Euroids. I didn't fucking know. I didn't play Euro Fallout 3. If Backhander comes in here, he's gonna be like, he's gonna be mad.
And I've also filled up my shaker cup here in advance with a ton of ice. It even
it hasn't melted
here that you fill it up to the right up to the brim. Okay, so we want to start off with the gin. So we're going to take our Gordon's gin, and we're going to do 2 shots here, which is 60 milliliters.
So 2 ounces.
1 and 2.
2. That's 2 ounces.
Those are the 2 shots of gin. Then we're going to take our Stoli vodka or any other Russian vodka. And for this one,
like as much as I don't like Grey Goose, and as much as it is a French vodka and not authentically Slavic or Polish or like Russian, I think it would work because Fleming specifies a grain vodka instead of a potato vodka.
We're going to do 20 milliliters.
20. So that's the 20. Is that one part? I'm sorry. Like maybe it's because like I only know parts at like ounces and half ounces because of that, and like I don't know how he's eyeballing it, but that's how I measure it. Like, and like normally I would unironically use the metric system for other things, but when it comes to distance, like I try to remember what a kilometer is. When it comes to distance and and it comes to bartending, I use the imperial system.
We have our Russian vodka in there. Now we're going to take the Lillet Blanc or Coqui Americano, whichever one that you have. And for this one, we're going to do...
There's a good pocket square. I like that pocket square. Oh, wait, hold on. What is he doing?
And for this one, we're going to do 2 teaspoons.
Teaspoons. Okay, that requires... That, like, to be honest, that requires a lot of precision.
2. Okay.
That requires some serious precision.
Okay.
Precision,
So
I
gin in
lack.
there. We have our Russian vodka. And then we also have our Lillet Blanc. We're ready to shake it now. Put our top on.
Okay.
And then we shake it vigorously, as the book says.
Until it's ice cold.
Making sure that everything stays nice and cold.
This feels like...
take our frosted glass.
This feels like not enough.
And our cold shaker cup.
Of a serving.
And now we're going to put it into the glass.
No, never mind. It's a sizable amount. I guess most of it would be the gin, right?
There we go. And then we're going to take our lemon
and grate it.
And we're gonna peel off.
Oh, you're gonna peel it. Lemon zest. They call it a lemon twist. Lemon peel for the aromatic oil, for the aromatic citrus oils.
Squeeze some of it in. Get some of the juice.
And then
either put it on the side.
Just drop it in. Drop it in.
Something like that. Or I'm just gonna.
It is a very clear drink. So having it inside adds some visual flavor.
Just like James Bond would make it. Let's try it. That's quite good. Strong. This is truly a great option if you're having some people over and you want to make a drink at your place to show off your skills. It also helps that the drink looks very classy, very nice.
Yeah, it is a very modern looking drink as well.
For a classy night with friends. I would definitely recommend this. I would say, for me personally, this is maybe an 8 out of 10. Gentlemen, now you know how to make the famous Vesper Martini up to 007 standards. I hope that you gents enjoyed this video. And if there's any other drinks that you had in mind and want...
Alright, so, okay, history of the martini, shaken or stirred, why Bond is wrong. You know what, we're gonna go into this guy, who, unironically, like, one of my favorite flesh tubers, watching him a lot. Going to be entirely honest, I was going to look up something else, but I missed my train of thought. But these are the ones I was looking up, these charts. Oh, hold on. This chart, and let me pull this up. 2 shots of Smirnoff Blue. So that's vodka. Screenshots. Okay. Yeah. The Stinger, the Sazerac, Live and Let Die, the Old Fashioned, Live and Let Die, the Americanos, the Negroni. We're gonna be looking at those in a second. Hold on. The Whiskey Exchange. Yeah, we're gonna be looking at this. This is a longer video. But yeah, Analyze This, Mr. Bond is someone I've watched unironically a lot.
And welcome to my channel, Analyze This, Mr. Bond, where I discuss the adventures of James Bond, 007, and dig for what lies beneath the surface. And today, we are digging into James Bond's martini, specifically the Vesper martini, popularized by the Ian Fleming novel Casino Royale and later the 2006 film adaptation, which on Instagram I recently declared
he's
to
a bit
be
loud.
a criminally misunderstood cocktail. My Instagram post met with some success and attention, and very kindly, St. George Spirits sent over their ingredients for their version of a Vesper martini so I could experiment and try out variations of the Vesper for myself. And I'm happy to say I think I've come up with something very special with the help of my fiance, who was improvising a bunch of different Vespers. So as you can see here, we've made quite a dent on this bottle, just experimenting with different variations of the Vesper, but we'll get to that soon enough. This video is going to be structured pretty simply. First, we're just going to talk about the history of the Vesper Martini as it pertains to James Bond, some misconceptions there. Then we are going to talk about the issues with the Vesper Martini as a particular cocktail, why I find it
because it's because you never see anyone ordering it. Even Bond fans wouldn't really order it unless they're like LARPing or want to try it from the book. Even if you do, even if you want to LARP as Bond, most of what you would order are either like a gin martini or a shake or or a vodka martini, because this, like, as cool as it is to combine both ingredients, this is unconventional.
Ian Fleming called it unpalatable, even though he was the creator of the cocktail. And then we will talk about how my experimentation with the help of St. George Spirits has led me to find a new variation of the Vesper that I think you all might enjoy very much. So let's go back to where it all began. Casino Royale, the original Bond adventure by Ian Fleming. In the chapter Rouge et Noir, Bond orders a Vesper martini. Bond is there with Felix Leiter. He looks at the barman. He says, "A dry martini.
Oh, he said my
one
name.
in a deep champagne goblet. 3 measures of
champagne
Gordon's, 1 of vodka, half a measure of Pinot Lillet.
I'm going to assume that's a champagne flute.
Shake it very well until it's ice cold, then add a large, thin slice of lemon peel."
A large, thin slice of lemon peel.
Right there you see, that is the standard recipe of the Vesper. 3 measures of Gordon's gin,
3 measures
1
of gin,
vodka,
1 of vodka,
half a measure of Pinot Lillet. This is a variation of the classic martini recipe. The martini has changed over time, but by the 1920s and
I still lost my train of thought from earlier about what I was trying to add here, but I'm gonna have to suffer through it because I hate doing that.
1930s, it had evolved into its foundational shape, which is to say it was a gin cocktail with gin and vermouth. The ratio of gin and vermouth has varied over the years.
Vermouth, which is the origin of the martini,
has dwindled quite a bit since the
Martini and Rossi.
Originally, it was more of a 2-to-1, 3-to-1 ratio. So 3 measures of gin to 1 of vermouth. I tend to still like my martinis to be very heavy on the vermouth. We'll talk about
this is why it's called the martini, by the way.
But generally, it's now more of a 6-to-1 or a vermouth rinse in the glass. I like my martinis to be very heavy on the vermouth. We'll talk about why. I tend to still like my martinis to be very heavy on the vermouth. We'll talk about why. But generally, it's now more of a.
It's funny because I've never had vermouth to my own knowledge.
The vodka martini is something.
I've had martini and Rossi. Hold on. Oh, alcoholic beverage company. I've had. Where's that before? Or where's that I've not had one of these. I've seen them in stores, but I've had added. Hold on. Wine with added sugar, alcohol, and botanicals. Scuderia for this is if you know racing, then you know these guys. I'm trying to remember Alessandro Martini. Hold on. Alessandro Martini, Luigi Rossi, an accountant Teofilo Sola, Martini Soli and Sola family sold out, and the Martini and Rossi. Okay, so trying to hold on. Martini and Rossi. What? The Asti. That's the stuff that I had. The Asti, which is sparkling white wine. And I gotta say, I did very much like it, unironically. The Martini and Rossi Asti.
Something of an oxymoron. It is not, properly speaking, a martini. It is a variation on it that subs the gin for the clean flavor of vodka. So if you're not using a lot of vermouth when you drink a
Yeah,
vodka
because
martini,
gin is supposed to
all
be
you're
have a
really
heavier
getting
flavor.
is a vodka cocktail, just chilled vodka in a martini glass. On
Hold
a
on.
vodka drink a vodka martini, all you're really getting is a vodka cocktail, just chilled vodka in a martini glass. Bond's version of a gin martini here combines them a little bit, so you are
Yeah,
getting
this is supposed to be a combination of
both
both of his
gin and vodka
typical
together
drinks.
with Quina Lillet, which is not vermouth, and also Quina Lillet is not produced in a form that is recognizable to what it originally was. We'll talk about that here later, but it's
Yeah,
basically the
the
same formula.
Cochi Americana
It's
or
gin,
Lillet Blanc.
it's vermouth, there's just some vodka added into the mix. Now, there are some misconceptions about the Vesper cocktail, and let's clear that up before we proceed with the rest of this video. The Vesper cocktail is not James Bond's favorite cocktail. It is a cocktail he invents while on mission here. It is particular to his story in Casino Royale, particular to his relationship with
It's
Vesper
part of a
Lynd.
character arc. It's not a standard like character thing.
Vesper Lynd dies, Bond does not really return to the Vesper Martini.
Yeah, because because it's literally named after his girl that dies.
It is a recipe that he created and holds in memory of her. And on Instagram, I described it as an ill omen. It's a drink that commemorates a bad romance, a tragic love story.
It is really a within the story. It basically functioned it represents his relationship with Vesper, and in a way, the drink spells out her death before it happens, an omen of death, memorializing a person before their death even happens, which is again a bad what he points out rather an ill omen.
Bond's more standard order is a classic martini or a vodka martini, though even then that's also a little bit misunderstood. In Ian Fleming's books, Bond is much more likely to drink champagne or brown liquor, bourbon, scotch than he is to drink a martini. The films have obviously made the martini much more of a set piece, but even then,
the
champagne
vodka martini
is about
specifically
neck and neck with the martini for Bond's favorite drink. It just doesn't have a compelling catchphrase the way that the martini does. But it becomes an iconic part of James Bond lore, even though it's not really his go-to cocktail. And the specificity of the recipe is, I think, one of the reasons that it has such an iconic presentation, especially in the 2006 film where the movie just stops in its tracks to let James Bond recite the recipe to the barman.
Yeah.
With that level of attention, it's no wonder that the cocktail has seen renewed interest and excitement in the past 2 decades. The thing is, the cocktail as originally conceived was not really designed to be consumed. Ian Fleming had a cocktail called the Vesper that was not martini based at all, but he liked the name, and when he was writing this novel, he decided to invent a cocktail on the fly, something that would make Bond sound smart and sophisticated, but Ian Fleming had not tried it for himself. So
well, okay, why would you do that? Well, this is like Glock firing his pistol with his left hand because he doesn't want to injure his right hand. It's like, why would you do that? Why wouldn't you try what you did there? Like, admittedly, I do this sometimes where I make up cocktails on the fly. Like, hold on, let me pull up my where was the text of that? But I don't have the ingredients, but the um yeah, like okay, so like as a joke because of the discussion like around St. Patrick's Day, there was discussion about like the Irish car bomb and how, like, oh, that's offensive, and like would Americans drink a drink named after 9/11. So I made up a drink named after 9/11 called a Twin Towers. Called It was 2 ounces of Grey Goose and one fireball bomb shot into a Manhattan. Hold on, which is a Manhattan. uh Sweet vermouth and bitter, so which is like it's supposed to be a mess. It's supposed to be a mess. Canadian whiskey, bourbon, blended whiskey. So you would whiskey, vermouth, and bitters. So you wouldn't have any whiskey. It would be sweet vermouth and bitters. Bomb shot it would be 2 ounces of Grey Goose and 1 ounce of Fireball. Bomb shot into this. That's your Twin Towers into a Manhattan, an unfinished Manhattan, because putting two different types of whiskey in a single um fire Fireball shit is cinnamon whiskey. So yeah, that would be bomb shot into that. That's like I have never made this before. I have I have come up with one called the Seaside Declaration, which was my substitute for a sex on the beach.
Recipe was
But as y'all are aware, that literally made me puke my guts up. So
to make it sound interesting. It wasn't really created in
bro, I
finesse
forgot I
as a
was
recipe
watching this. Well, yeah, my bad. I am still streaming.
that Ian Fleming stood behind, and in fact, writing a letter later on, Ian Fleming said he didn't really stand behind the Vesper recipe. In fact, when he tried it himself, he found it unpalatable. So that brings us to why
It's like, what did you
the
think was
Vesper
gonna happen?
Martini has some complications as a cocktail. So the martini
Drink it till you get it
is
right.
a very delicate, perfect cocktail. It is more of a template than a strict recipe. It is the combination of gin and vermouth in a dance with each other. Because it is such a simple cocktail,
What about the
the
vodka?
ratio has to be finessed according to taste, but also according to every distinct combination of gin and vermouth you may bring to bear.
What
in
about
that
the
cocktail.
vodka though? He
Every
mentions there has
gin
to be
is
vodka.
slightly different from every other gin. Every type of dry vermouth or substitutes like Quina Lillet or white port, which I often like to use in my own recipes, is different, and it's going to require different ratios. If you are really obsessive about cocktails in the way that I am, and you really want that perfectly smooth, harmonious, blended experience, you really have to play around with the ratios to get the perfect martini. And if you're doing something like making a dirty martini with olive brine, it throws in a
Again, I would not order a dirty martini because, again, I don't think a drink should be savory.
whole other element there to make sure that all those elements are sitting in perfect harmony. It's not a matter of just reproducing ratios. It's really something that you have to do to taste. And the balance there is thrown off a bit when you introduce vodka into the mix, because
There we
vodka
go.
in a gin martini is kind of an odd element. Gin itself is already a sibling of vodka. They are essentially
Yeah.
both neutral spirits to start with. Vodka is just essentially ethanol and water, but gin has been infused with botanicals. So it has a strong juniper through line. That's what defines the flavor
Juniper berries.
profile of gin. It has that slight metallic herbal zing, and there are, of course, many different types of gin. The traditional gin in a martini used in the early 20th century is Old Tom's gin. It tends to be a little sweeter than the profiles we know today in terms of classic botanical gins and things like that. And what vodka does when you just introduce it into the classic martini is it kind of waters down the gin a little bit. It's an unusual choice. So when Ian Fleming's recipe introduces 3 measures of gin to 1 of vodka, vodka is just kind of adding as a diluent there for flavor. It also increasing the alcohol. It's just a burst of straight alcohol, reducing
I mean, it
the flavor
depends.
profile
I
of the
like
gin and kind of washing things out. And then when
yeah. Having tasted vodka, the taste is very slight. It is meant to be the base spirit, which is trouble in and of itself.
shake the martini over ice, you're actually diluting it further because the shaking method breaks off chunks of ice in there and adds in an even more watery dimension.
It
So
waters
when
it
you
down,
make
yeah.
the classic Ian Fleming recipe, even trying to find the best modern equivalents of the vintage materials that he's referencing in that recipe, you end up with something that's kind of unusual. I find that it's very unbalanced. If you enjoy this cocktail, go with God. I am not here to take away the classic Vesper from you, but I do think it tastes a little bit kind of like jet fuel. There is a heavily alcohol forward element that doesn't feel quite right because there's just like a watered down gin flavor with just a little hint of sweetness from the Lillet. Instead of Quina Lillet today, there are many different options available, some of which I'm sure will come up in the comments. Many are not widely available. There's a wonderful one used by Dukes in London. Alessandro Palazzi did this.
Well, yeah, we're gonna
wonderful
be seeing
version
that
of the
later.
Vesper there that he changed quite a bit. He introduced a orange focus, and he uses I think it's the
because he uses a layered drink, which I heavily disagree with, but I'm going to show it anyway because we have to.
sacred amber vermouth. Lovely stuff, but that's not easily attainable over here where I'm at. A lot of people use Lillet Blanc, but Lillet Blanc is not exactly like the Quina Lillet of the past because it lacks the quinine texture. I think I'm pronouncing that right, by the way, quinine. It's only a word I've read. It's never a word I've heard pronounced
Quinine,
aloud,
okay.
so I apologize if I'm stumbling on that word.
Quinine.
But many people suggest instead...
Bro said what? What doesn't melt steel? What? No, bro said what? What doesn't melt steel beams? The Twin Towers, which again, as a cocktail, I have not made, but I feel like it would be a logical extension of the Manhattan.
Coqui Americano as a different alternative. It's very similar to Lillet Blanc, but it has more
here's
that,
our
slightly
here's our Cunny Americano terrible artists
metallic quinine taste to it that nicely offsets the gin. So I love to use this in a classic gin
both of them as
martini,
metallic.
and it also works very well.
Yeah, gin is slightly metallic, but it's not.
It's still just it's kind of weird. You're having 4 shots of straight liquor to just a little bit of sweetener, and then you're finishing it off with a citrus peel. There's just not enough flavor to balance that out. I'm not a big fan of the vodka martini. Nothing against vodka. Vodka chilled neat can be very enjoyable, but the vodka martini doesn't have enough going on. For me to
I haven't had gin
as a
neat
cocktail,
before.
but there's something to be said for a dirty vodka martini because the olive brine adding
well that's for freaks like Thami.
Flavor into the mix. But here there's just not a ton of flavor. It just kind of feels like a high proof punch in the face with a kind of watery.
So you're saying it's a gut punch?
Martini underneath.
I'm sorry.
I typically make for myself a more traditional gin martini with a kind of explosive American-style botanical gin that tends to be a little bit more full-throated than your classic English gins, a little bit less subdued, a little bit more hearty on the botanical. So you're getting this punch in the face of botanical gin flavor that's really rich and exciting. And then with that, you're getting a little bit of the vermouth. And that's my typical martini recipe. But when I'm doing the Vesper, I haven't quite figured it out until I went through this experiment here, thanks courtesy of St. George Spirits. St. George Spirits sent over a few different things to experiment with. Their version of the Vesper, they call it the Double O. It follows the basic Ian Fleming proportions, but it uses their orange-flavored spirits. So amping up the orange in the Vesper is one way to add a bit of that flavor.
That one was unfunny. Assume the position. No, I won't. No, I won't. Yeah, we're touching you. Hearing that it tasted like jet fuel was just kind of funny. Oh, I thought you were talking about the Twin Towers thing that I tried to make.
Flavor back into it. So they are using their California citrus vodka instead
California
of the standard
citrus.
vodka, so you're getting a little bit of the citrus flavor. And they're using their Valley Gin, which again is very Orange Grove flavored. These are
So heavy on the citrus. I like that.
What you would think of just in terms of like juicy orange flavor. They're very focused on the floral aspects of orange,
Higher notes.
the herbal aspects of orange. The vodka in particular is very delicate and light and carefully articulated. Both of these, love to death. My fiance, trying the gin in particular, was ready to say that this should be a staple. I understand that wholeheartedly because I think these are just very beautifully articulated. They're not.
I didn't even hear the Twin Towers. I was watching reels. Okay. You didn't pause when I made that whole joke about like the whole spiel about the Irish car bomb? No, you didn't? I guess not.
Like flavored spirits in the conventional sense. They are accented with this very nuanced presentation of citrus. And by adding that citrus element into the Vesper ratios, the vodka has a little bit more purpose. It's kind of amping up this citrus presence, and then you can garnish it accordingly. Again, their 00 recipe uses standard Lillet Blanc. I was using Coqui Americano because that's what I had on hand. I thought that all worked together pretty well. It's a similar thing to what Duke's does with their martini, where they really play with those orange tones. But for me, we were still craving something a little bit more full-bodied about it, something that would really unite all those components together. And so where my fiance ended up playing around with it, because we had them on hand, was grapefruit.
Grapefruit.
And adding grapefruit juice into the Vesper recipe, whether you were using St. George Spirits, which did this wonderful amped up citrus experience. So
Nope, just keep nodding along. Well, yeah, I guess you would do that.
you had the classic Vesper martini ratios with the St. George citrus gin and vodka with a bunch of grapefruit added on top. You had
Botanivore, huh?
Kind of full-bodied, sharp, bitter citrus element that worked so nicely with the gin. If you did it that way, that worked beautifully. But
Can you make one?
Was
Can you make one? Okay, so he does. I think he does make one.
Very well if you were using a more traditional standard vodka and using something like their botanical gin, which is very carefully articulated, a nicely botanical, a little floral, a little dry. It's much more in the classic gin profile. That gin here worked very nicely in a Vesper configuration with a bunch of grapefruit. And so that Vesper variation, the recipe is on my blog linked below, but I very much encourage you to try it. You can add a bunch of grapefruit to taste. Grapefruits will vary in ripeness and sweetness. And when you use that grapefruit, it can really add a metallic, bitter punch to the Vesper that I think makes it coherent. And I'm calling that recipe A Whisper of Love in honor of the chapter title in Casino Royale. And you can check that out on my blog linked below. It's my Substack. Yeah. Feel free to subscribe. I have posts about cocktails all the time. I have a fidget
that I dropped.
But I once again want to thank St. George Spirits for sending these my way. I can't really recommend them enough. I've tried and owned many gins over the years. These are fabulous, high-quality gins, worthy of having
he doesn't make
your
one.
bar cabinet. And the vodka was the real revelation for me. I'm not a huge vodka guy. Again, I like flavor in my cocktails. I'm drawn to cocktails because of flavor ingredients. But as an infused vodka goes, this is really well articulated.
Maybe some berry to Smirnoff would work instead.
One final note here, talking about the presentation
of the
Vesper. I am
deep champagne
about
goblet
glassware because I am fussy and pedantic, as you know by now in this video. The classic way to present a martini and therefore a Vesper is in the martini glass. I do like the martini glass. I find it a little less than ideal just because it so easily sloshes out. In fact, there is a bit of a myth that one of the reasons it came about during Prohibition was so people could quickly throw their drink out of their glass if the
we saw that
raid occurred and they were going to get in trouble. But as pretty as it is and as iconic as it is, I think the superior glass is what we call the Nick and Nora glass. And I love a Nick and Nora glass. It is equally appropriate for the martini. It is one of the classic ways to present a martini as well as many other cocktails.
Yeah, it looks
classy.
It
has a more rounded appearance and aligns a little bit better with what Ian Fleming describes Bond.
Again, if we take Fleming at his word, he had the Vesper made in a champagne flute.
Drinking the Vesper out of in the novel. He describes a deep champagne goblet. He may be talking about more of a rounded coupe glass.
Or a flute.
Coupes also serve champagne.
Because coupes are shallow.
You look at vintage barware of the 1950s, it's very likely he was talking about a rounded coupe. But there's also the matter of the wonderful Nick and Nora glass, named for the Thin Man series, if you are familiar with that lovely film series, iconic movie, The Thin Man. And I find its sort of Art Deco presentation really elegant for a martini, especially since the martini is really
looks very vintage of its period.
Art Deco era cocktail. So let me know in the comments below how you like your Vesper, how you like your martini, or whether you don't like either of them. Let me know if you think I'm way off base here. Many of you have already done so on Instagram, so I'm sure I'll get comments from a bunch of you. And let me know if you're familiar with St. George Spirits. This was my first experience with them. Very, very impressed. Again, very happy that they sent this my way and allowed me to experiment without any expectation. It was really kind of them. So let me know, and I hope.
All right, so we're gonna see the Alessandro Palazzi. That's quite a name, by the way. Yeah, we're gonna check out the next one of Duke's Bar. This version, I don't like this version. I don't like this version of the martini. And reviewing the like, I watched this guy a lot as well. The Bond Experience, yeah.
Hello, David Zritsky for the Bond Experience. Welcome back. I am here with the world-famous bartender, Alessandro Palazzi. You are world-famous, you know that.
Listen, the police are looking for me.
That's true. So we've got to make these 3 Vespers quickly. Is the Vesper your specialty?
No, it's just what's happened with the Vesper. People thought I invented. It's impossible because I have not, even if I'm an old decrepit, the creator of the Vesper is Mr. Fleming in his first novel, Casino Royale. I just changed because you cannot make it. I will explain, David, as I make it, why I make it this way.
I love it.
Okay?
Let's do it.
I'm ready.
I guess it's his interpretation, which, again, I don't think a martini should be a layered drink.
Right,
but
go for it.
Welcome back, anyway. Nice to see you.
That's orange zest, right?
So, in the book,
I like his suit a lot. It looks,
the menu
like mine.
Is all about the writer. I'm inspired by his
well,
books.
Well, not the one I'm wearing right now, but...
Not so much about the movie. The classic example is the Vesper. The Vesper was written in the first novel, Casino Royale, 1953. Bond, at that time, is losing against Le Chiffre. He's losing a bit of his cool, and he said to the bartender, can you make me a martini with half measure of quina lillet? Now, this vermouth, as you know, does not exist any longer. It exists as a lillet blanc. 1 part of vodka, no rum. It was actually Moscow in 33 and 39. The vodka he drank is not the vodka we know today. He actually used to put black pepper, thought it would take out the impurity.
Yeah, because of allegedly Bond did that as the as a measure against poisons or whatever. I don't think that entirely works, but but yeah, that is something that he did do. A single pinch of In the novel Moonraker, it is noted in the card club Blades, Bond adds a single pinch of black pepper to his glass of fine Wolfschmidt vodka, much to M's consternation, to which Bond says he got into the habit of enjoying the serve villainous homebrew. It sinks all the poisons to the bottom, and Bond got to like the taste. However, he admits he should not have insulted the club Wolfschmidt, Wolfschmidt vodka. Hold on, that's very German for a vodka name. Wolfschmidt vodka. Okay, so it's American. It's made in the U.S., but it's Latvian, despite the German name. Um, s- Slightly sweet and very clean. All right.
And Gordon's, which at that time it was the symbol of England at that time,
Yeah, Gordon's.
and 3 part. And it says shake
I think it's kind of been replaced by Beefeater now,
very
but
well.
I know Gordon's is still made. But like Beefeater is the kind of stereotypical English gin.
Because martini have to be served very cold, spot on.
Gotta go, Chuddy. See ya. Well, I'll see. But have a good one, terrible artists.
There, Mr. Bond, and a twist of lemon. My have to be served very cold, spot on there, Mr. Bond, and a twist of lemon. My version is completely different. It's an homage to the writer, and especially whenever Maker is played, I have not invented, I've been inspired by the great man. So, as he said, make sure the martini is very cold. They have to be served very cold. We freeze the glasses, and we freeze the spirit.
Oh, you
Very easy to make at home as well. The first thing I put is a drop.
Latvia has old historical ties to Germany. I see. Was it part? Wait, was Latvia part of Prussia before? It wouldn't surprise me if it was. I guess because of that. Because Prussia dominated a huge section of Northern Europe,
In a frozen
of
glass.
Northeast Europe at the time.
Now, Lillet, beautiful vermouth made in
What is
France.
that?
I thought to do a little bit different.
Looks like a beaker.
With a friend of mine who owns a distillery in Highgate called Sacred.
Not a beaker, but a Trying to remember the scientific glassware term for
Why
that.
don't we create an English vermouth in homage? And that's what it is. It's similar to Lillet, but all the botanical, including who owns a distillery in Highgate called Sacred. Why don't we create an English
Sacred,
vermouth in homage? And that's what it is. It's similar to Lillet, but all the botanical, including the wine, come from here in UK, made in Highgate by Sacred Distillery. But I
Okay,
found
so hold on. What does he start with? So okay.
The spirit. Very easy to make at home as well. The first thing I put is a drop of Angostura bitter
Angostura
in
bitters.
a frozen glass.
Okay.
Now, Lillet, beautiful vermouth made in France. I thought to do a little bit different. With a friend of mine who owns a distillery in Highgate called Sacred, why don't we create an English vermouth in homage?
Oh, okay.
And that's what it is. It's similar to Lillet, but all the botanical, including the wine, come from here in UK, made in Highgate by Sacred Distillery. But I follow his measurement, half measure. For the vodka, I use a Polish vodka. A lot of people get surprised.
All right. Oh, he does it just without measure. He said it is a layered drink
For
to
the
him.
vodka, I use a Polish vodka. A lot of people get surprised. The reason why I use a Polish vodka, the real Vespa was a young lady called Christina Starbeck. Now, this
And she
young
was a
lady
Pole.
was the first female spy for UK to go over to the enemy. But it didn't stop there. The young lady, very brave, during the war, helped to recruit other 5 spies, and she was Sir Winston Churchill's favorite spy. The young lady was from Poland. I use a rye vodka, Polish, distilled
Rye.
rice,
Okay.
and I put 1 part. And as you can
Almost
see, I do
viscous.
not shake, I do not stir. Everything from the freezer, because that's what a martini, the first step, very important.
So yeah, this is a layered drink.
This is from Barry Brother. Barry Brother is a wine merchant here in St. James, and number 3 St. James.
London
The
Dry
original
Gin.
shop has been there since 1698.
I think that's just the
The reason why I use this particular gin, not only we love it, but also because bean base in St. James since 1698, before everybody else. And Mr. Fleming was in this part of London, not only used to come here, but used to patronize.
And it was on the border of Prussia. Okay, and I believe Riga was under control of a Baltic Crusader state. Oh, that was allied to the Teutonic Order. Yeah, that makes sense. I know the Teutonics invaded Poland and Russia before. Poland and Russia during medieval times, during the Crusades before.
This area, German Street, Truth on the Nile, sometimes here. So the spirit is still here. There is. And three parts.
One. That's quite a
You
bit.
see
Yeah.
the viscosity. Now, in this method, it's
Well,
not
I saw
shake,
it
it's
more with
not
the
there's
vodka.
not a single drop of water. It's something, if you make at home,
It looks oily.
you need
Yeah.
to take your time. This is a martini, you need at least 20, 30 minutes to drink for two reasons. One, if you drink too quickly, you don't realize how it develops, the ingredients. The other one, if you drink too quickly,
If it's extremely strong, which this drink will be extremely strong, drinking it slower will be good. And most of the time for drinks like those, I like either just artificially limit myself or I have ice in it, which tells me like,
you will fall off too quickly. Now, instead to use an organic lemon of Amalfi we normally use, I'm going to use an organic orange from Seville.
all right.
And if you want the why at the side an orange, again, for two reasons. One, for the contrast. The oil of the skin as spray is bitter. But when you take it to your nose, you see this beautiful sweet aroma. Orange brings memory. And you see it has a squeeze.
Oh, he really like doing it on the rim
Now,
too.
when Daniel Craig made a wonderful film, Casino Royale, he actually recited the similar recipe from the book. And this is why I confuse a lot of people, because the ingredients are not there. You maybe be able to find the Gordons from the 50, which is a beautiful gin, but you'll have to take out about $400. Yeah. Quina Lillet, I saw in some auction, $1,200.
Oh wow. Yeah, because they don't make it anymore.
Save the dollars and come and see us, or make at home. David, welcome back.
Amazing storytelling by Alessandro. We've come to know him to be the great
Again,
storyteller.
I don't
But here's the
exactly
reality.
agree with
Great
this version
story
of the
aside,
like. Would I try it? Probably, because I love citrus. I love sweet citrus, and like I'm hoping it might be on the sweeter side, but it probably isn't. I'd still drink it anyway. That being said, this kind of thing. Again, I would prefer it if it was genuinely shaken and it was evenly distributed, because layered drinks aren't exactly like I haven't had a layered drink, but I don't think I would gel with it.
is this the most incredible Vesper in the world, like the thumbnail says? Cheers. Oh, stop it. Oh my gosh. Ridiculous. Now, this is wonderfully fumy. You saw how much gin he puts in there. You're going to walk out a little bit crooked, but a lot happier, trust me. In the meantime, get yourself to Duke's. This has been David Zaritsky for the Bond Experience, and we'll see you all real soon. Take care.
And this is the other one that he does. Hold on. How to make a Bond cocktail. Reviewing the Vesper Martini. Okay. This one was more recent. In a bottle. Okay.
Hello,
So it's one of those
David
bottled,
Zaritsky for the
bottled
Bond
cocktails.
Experience. Welcome back. It's Friday when we're filming this. I feel like a cocktail, and I'm not screaming this out loud because I'm going to try something a little bit special. I'm not saying that it's too special not to share with Danielle, but I'm kind of saying that because I really want to make sure that,
Oh, there's his wife.
Hi.
yeah, there you are.
Got my glass. I'm all ready to go.
You do have your glass. So there's no excuses for
It's
me.
5 o'clock on Friday.
You have your glass.
It's 5 o'clock somewhere.
This is probably going to be an easy one. This
It's
is
8
probably
o'clock
going to
now.
shock you, but we don't need shakers. We don't need recipes. We don't even need ingredients.
Awesome. Straight to the glass.
Do you know what we're talking about today?
Well, part of the fun
Yeah. Let me
is
guess. This is how
making
fast it
like
is.
part of the fun is making a drink. This is why like I get why bottled cocktails or canned cocktails exist. I get why like buzz balls exist. But to me, the charm, it's like a pre-made meal versus some like one you can cook yourself or like one that you can assemble yourself. Yeah, like even if you're following a recipe, like it is your own touch. But if it's bottled, then it basically comes from someone else.
Harris Thomas of Dressing
It was
Like
not
God
you
with
that
Duchess
made it.
Russ.
You did not have a touch
Right directly
in the
located
making of it.
London, right?
Mm-hmm.
My gosh. And this is the Vesper Martini, created with Alessandro Palazzi.
Great man.
Where's he from?
Duke's Bar.
He is
Well, I
from,
mean, originally he's from Italy, I'm assuming, but
he is.
Yeah.
He's got that wonderful accent. And we got to talk a little bit about what we have here.
Yes.
While we're doing that, I'm just going to give it one shake, but literally it says you don't need anything but, oh, we forgot our lemon. Cut.
All right, there's
it has
the
been cured.
It has been.
Yes.
Look, it's
use
been
an
a long
orange
week.
in the
We
last
can't
video.
be
You know what?
Responsible for every detail, but
You know what? Like again, I'm not really into bottled cocktails, so I'll skip this one. Let's see what he does about how to make a Bond cocktail.
Hello, David Zritsky for the Bond Experience, and you can plainly see.
Okay, so
I am
this is
back
the
here with
this is
Harris
another
Thomas
variation of the
and Justin
Vesper, I think.
Harris.
Dude, it's good to see you again.
What's going on, brother?
Been a little bit.
It's been a little bit now. The last video that you and I were a part of, something amazing happened.
Mm-hmm.
We videoed the entire thing.
Ectomorph.
It wasn't.
It wasn't.
It wasn't. It
Shows
was.
you I pay attention.
You got this watch.
Yes, I did.
So I've got a whole video around that moment.
Fantastic.
He hasn't seen it yet.
I haven't
as
seen
of this
it yet.
viewing. But
I can't wait to see it.
we have matching watches now.
Matching watches. Awkward.
Oh, that's
Watches,
nice.
so we-
It's like the same video back to back. We were wearing the same clothes. You know, we were dressing the same way together, and then now we're wearing the same watches.
Yes, but you look very buttoned up. Literally, you're wearing the Connolly shirt.
It's a work day.
I'm wearing a John Varvatos total non-Bond thing. But we're here really because
It's 5 o'clock somewhere.
it actually is.
Yeah.
Literally.
It literally on a Friday. And I'll tell you, Harris had said to me, you know, it would be great for me to show everybody kind of just how to make a pretty simple drink, but make it really well. And you've become, dare I say, an apprentice of some really interesting bartenders around the world.
Yeah, you know, our friend Joseph Darlington from Being James Bond.
Yes.
The Joe Darlington. You know, he said during COVID at whatever one of his points is like, if you come out of this without an extra skill or a hobby, you did it incorrectly.
Well, I like that.
I took it to real value, and I decided to get in touch with Alessandro there at Duke's in London.
Oh,
Of course,
okay. So this is
Alessandro's
this
been
is
doing
from that
cocktail
guy.
videos, and I started drinking a whole lot more. Well, when you're from home and you're looking at the bar cart, and you know you got to go do it. So I really was in touch with him a bunch. I got really, believe it or not, those of you that know me, I'm very anal and OCD. I don't do things half ASS.
Sure, his beard is meticulously trimmed. You have
It is.
no idea.
So I don't eat very much, but I drink very well.
You do.
And we're going to make today. You know, I'm all about living that Bond lifestyle every single day, and so
Well, you got to be consuming like 5 eggs for breakfast because that's what Bond does.
I wanted to.
It's
do
not a joke.
Cocktails today,
Yes.
and we're gonna do a French Riviera themed.
Ooh.
So a little. Never Say Never Again.
Okay.
Little Diamonds Are Forever action. So a lot
Getting
of
better.
Connery.
Yeah.
French. So A View to a Kill.
Yes.
So we're gonna do a little Mediterranean gin and tonic with the highest ingredients
It's not the
possible.
typical British UK gin and
No,
tonic.
no,
This
no,
has
no.
a
Okay, you know what? To be fair, this isn't like again, all respect to him. This isn't one of the established ones from the books or whatever. So I'm going into the spicier like
Hey guys,
why it's wrong.
In today's video, I'm going to answer common questions that I always get at the bar.
Oh, hi,
In this
Dizzy.
segment I'm going to call Bar Bites. They're like little snack-sized morsels.
This is what y'all came for. This is the
question of the week.
what
Martinis.
of the stirred or
Short
shaken.
answer, Stirred. There you go. That's it. Video over. But as a rule, if a drink contains all spirits, then it should be stirred. If a drink contains any citrus in it, then it should be shaken. So why is this even a debate? The obvious answer is because
Well,
of James
because of the lemon peel.
Bond. His classic shaken not stirred line has been repeated in the movies a total of 15 times. It's 15 fucking times. Repeat anything often enough and it'll get stuck in your head. The problem is James Bond is wrong. Kind of, but not really. What I should say is that James Bond taught the world wrong. Now, I hate telling customers that they're wrong when they order a drink, but I do like to educate people on how to enjoy a drink better or enjoy a better drink. So
Because
why does Bond
the shaking
order it this
is
way?
the standard,
Now,
but
there's a gin
Bond
martini
changed
versus
that
vodka martini
overnight.
argument, but I'll get to that later. The theory that I like best and makes the most sense to me lies behind the psychology of the individual. James Bond is a rebel by nature and a notorious breaker of rules. Life is on his terms and he asserts this everywhere he goes, including at the bar. As a rebel, Bond orders his martinis deliberately shaken and not stirred as yet another way to break the rules. Bond is a veteran drinker and he knows that a traditional martini should be stirred, but like anyone who is an expert of any discipline, like a painter or a musician, he knows when and how to break the rules. The unfortunate side effect is that now everyone in the world thinks that they're as cool as him by ordering a shitty, cloudy martini. Now, the bar nerd reasons why bartenders want to stir your martini over shaking it is
Yeah,
to
but the
preserve
thing
the
is,
taste.
here's the thing. Like, it's gonna dilute. He's gonna probably mention that it dilutes the drink, but that's what I want because it allows it to go down smoother.
And texture of your martini. Shaken drinks cloud a cocktail and add a frothy texture by way of aeration, and this is usually reserved for citrus-based drinks like whiskey sours, margaritas, and gimlets. Something as delicate as a gin martini, however, should almost always be stirred. The only exception is possibly throwing the cocktail. Now, I won't get into the hows or whys of throwing cocktails, but if you want to see how it's done, you can watch this video up here of Remy Sauvage absolutely crushing it. Back to the argument of stirred, never shaken. Try it yourself. Make 2 gin martinis side by side, one stirred and one shaken, and you'll feel the difference as you drink it. A stirred martini preserves that silky velvet-like texture of the gin and vermouth. It rolls around your tongue and almost gives it a hug before going down and warming your belly. Just do me a favor and don't start trending #tongue hug. I feel like it can really be taken out of context and I don't want to see any stupid tongue hug challenges trending on TikTok. But in the context of this video, if #tongue hug helps you remember to order your martinis stirred and not shaken, then I'll have done my job. In contrast to a stirred martini, a shaken martini will have less flavor, be more diluted, and as a result of being over diluted, be a weaker drink. The only time I'll ever shake a martini is
Yeah, it'll be a weaker drink. Well, I could take it though.
if it's vodka, since there's little to no flavor to vary, or if it's a dirty martini since the olive juice combines better with a vigorous shake, or if James Bond himself ordered from me. But when it comes to gin martinis, I'm stirring it every time. So there you have it, a little bar trivia to start a conversation.
Gin martini. Here's the
Today,
thing,
we're
like the whole like
arguing with
bruises
no
the gin
drinks. My
thing.
final advice, if you're not a veteran boozer or James Bond himself, do yourself a favor and order your martini the right way. Stirred, not shaken. Final disclaimer, one of the things I always tell my customers is like what you like. If you like your martinis shaken, honestly, that's fine. Just stop it with the bad Sean Connery impressions and we'll call it even.
No, I won't actually. I do what I want.
Cheers.
Anyways, so here, like, there are more of these.
Hey,
Does it
welcome
make
to
a
Better
difference?
Drinks. I'm David, and today we're talking about shaking versus stirring a martini. Now, James Bond famously ordered his martini shaken, but most bartenders would stir the drink, so does it actually make a difference? Well, let's find out. Today I'm going to make a couple of martinis, one shaken and one stirred.
As someone who is a lightweight, shaking like a shaken martini unironically might be better for me.
See what difference this technique actually has on the final product. So, let's make some drinks. Okay, let's make some martinis. Now, I'm all set here. I've got a mixing tin for the shaken version. I've got a mixing glass for the stirred version. And I'm just gonna use a really basic martini recipe, so just 2 ounces of gin and 1 ounce of dry vermouth, because I really wanna focus on the difference the technique makes. So let's get started with the vermouth. Now, I'm using Dolan Dry here, which I really like, but you know, you can use your favorite dry vermouth in your version of the cocktail.
Hold on, what is he using?
Started with the vermouth. Now, I'm using Dolan
Oh, he's using Beefeater. I mentioned that before.
Dry here, which I really like.
Dolan Dry.
But, you know, you can use your favorite dry vermouth
Dolan.
in your version of the cocktail.
We don't have vermouth, so again, I've never tasted it, so I wouldn't know exactly. No.
So next I'm going to add my gin. I'm using Beefeater, which I really like. It's very affordable, and it's a nice kind of classic London dry. But again, you know, with a martini, you can do a lot of experimentation here. You can use different brands of gin or vermouth. You can adjust the
that does look
proportions.
good,
There's
to be honest.
Really a lot of room here for making the cocktail your own. So that's really it as far as ingredients go. Now I'm just going to add my ice. So I'm going to start with the stirred one because it's going to take a little bit longer.
What do we like?
And I'm just going to
Crushed ice
stir
though.
for around 30 seconds.
Because crushed ice spreads the it cools it evenly. Crushed ice, which is why it's popular for certain cocktails. It does water it down, but it cools it evenly. which is why the blended exists in Valhalla. So that's stirred.
Okay, so that one's good to go, and I'm going to leave that for a minute while I make the shaken version. And it's okay to leave a cocktail sitting over ice for a minute or two. When ice is not in motion, it just really doesn't chill or dilute very much. So let me go ahead and make the shaken version.
Oh, there he goes. Okay, so he's using solid ice for this one. I guess that's how it's supposed to be. I've always thought it'd be like
All right,
to
so
use
I took
crushed
that
ice.
for about 15 seconds, which is all it takes. Now I'm going to strain these out into a couple of coupes. Now normally I would chill my glassware, but for this particular cocktail, I wanted to be able to show how it looks in the glass, and chilled glassware is just more cloudy. So I'm going to go with this and strain them out. So let's start with the stirred version.
Okay. Oh, there's a strainer. That's cool. So that's stirred.
So that looks pretty crystal clear to me. Let's see how the shaken version looks.
Oh, it's cloudy.
So right away I can see that the shaken version of this cocktail is super cloudy compared to the really crystal clear quality of the stirred version. But why is that? Well, the fact is when you shake or stir over ice, the whole point is to melt the ice in order to chill and dilute the cocktail. But when you
chill and
shake,
dilute.
it also adds aeration or bubbles to the drink. And so that's why this drink is so cloudy. You know, shaking is a really vigorous
It cools it
activity,
evenly.
whereas stirring is much kind of smoother and gentler and tends to produce a clearer cocktail. So why would you do one versus the other? Well, you would shake a drink generally when it already has some cloudy ingredients. So, you know, fruit juices or milk or eggs, anything like that. Whereas with a stirred drink, you generally want to use that technique with the cocktail that only has kind of clear or at least translucent ingredients like the martini. So for my money, stirring is the way to go when it comes to making a martini. But ultimately, it's really important just to know the difference that one technique versus the other.
Again, I would
So
I would probably prefer it
let us know in
shaken.
the comments how you like to make your martini. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.
All right, this is the final one. This is about the martini itself.
Sophistication had a flavor.
Okay, hold on. There we go.
It would taste like gin and come in a chilled glass shaped like a cone. That's right, we're talking about the martini, the drink that says, I have my life together, even when you clearly don't.
Yeah.
But where did this icon come from? Was it born in a fancy hotel, a speakeasy, or maybe by accident, like that last text to your ex? Let's find out. Oh, and hey, before we shake or stir our way through history, don't forget to subscribe for more cocktail curiosities.
Let's hear.
One sip of history at a time. Like many good legends, the martini's origin story is, well, shaken and stirred.
Okay.
One version says it all began in the mid-1800s in Martinez, California. Picture it. A gold miner
I think it was I still think it was named after Martini and Rossi, the company.
walks into a bar after striking it rich. He asks the bartender for something special. The bartender mixes gin, vermouth, maraschino liqueur, and a dash of bitters. The miner loves it and names it after the town, the Martinez. Now, somewhere between that bar and New York City,
this was invented in New
we
York.
got shorter, cleaner, and classier. Kind of like how Jonathan Taylor Thomas became JTT. Yes, I'm a JTT fan and a grown man.
I don't even know who that is.
Another version claims it was invented at the Knickerbocker Hotel in New York around the early 1900s.
Okay,
by a
that's more
bartender
believable.
named Martini di Arma di Taggio.
I don't think
honestly, that's kind of the name you'd expect from a guy who invents one of the most sophisticated drinks in history. Either way,
That is a
the
peak.
martini
This is
found
peak
its way
aesthetic
into
though.
high society.
I love how this looks. This is peak aesthetic. To be fair, this is like I would love to you would love to serve at a bar like this. You would love to drink at a bar like this.
And never left. kind of like that cat we adopted. Thanks, Alex. The original martini was
that's
all
a
about
champagne
gin.
coupe.
Classic London dry gin, to be exact. Mixed with dry vermouth, sometimes in equal parts. Over time, people started preferring their martinis drier and drier, meaning less vermouth.
Less
Yes,
vermouth.
this is controversial. I'll make a video about that later. By the
Oh, there's Dolan again.
1950s, dry practically meant just wave the vermouth bottle over the glass and call it a day. And then came a man by the name of James Bond, who changed everything. When Bond famously ordered his martini, shaken, not stirred, purists gasped so hard they nearly spilled their drinks. You see, traditionally...
Did the AI slop image though? I hope that earlier image wasn't AI though.
A martini should be stirred, not
Does it
shaken.
look really good?
Why? To keep it clear and silky smooth. Shaking it adds tiny ice shards, making it cloudy. But let's be honest, shaking it just looks a lot cooler. The line wasn't just movie dialogue, it became marketing gold. Suddenly, every bar patron wanted to look suave ordering a shaken martini. Bond may have saved the world countless times.
Yeah, it's a
but he
Smirnoff.
also single-handedly boosted gin sales. Not bad for a secret agent.
It wasn't gin though. The again in Doctor No, the version he orders is vodka. From what he finally got to it though.
Around the mid-20th century, a new player entered the chat: vodka. As vodka became popular in America, bartenders started swapping gin for vodka in martinis. The vodka martini was born. Cleaner, smoother, less botanical, and for many, easier to drink. Purists argue it's not a real martini, but good luck telling that to thousands of people who order one every day. Believe me, I know. The vodka version got another boost from, you guessed it, James Bond. In Dr. No, film in 1962, Bond gets his first vodka martini.
Yeah, there we go.
Pop culture
He
was
mentions it.
never the same.
One medium dry
Vodka martini,
mixed
shaken,
like
not
you said,
stirred.
sir, and not stirred. Thank you.
Influencer move right there, right?
Okay, so that's in a so that hold on, my bad. That hold on, it's not letting me zoom in. It's not letting me zoom in. This that's a highball glass. I think I'm pretty sure that's a highball glass.
Tell you. Here's some fun facts to try to impress people that no one asked for. The world's largest martini glass was made in Las Vegas in 2004 and held 250 gallons. That's a party waiting to happen. Or a
Oh, it's a
terrible
fountain.
Monday morning. The olive garnish wasn't always standard.
Yeah,
Early
hold on.
martinis used lemon peels.
Yeah, okay, so I feel like that would be a more logical choice.
Olive became popular in the early 1900s because people loved how salty brine balanced the drink's dryness and your attitudes. Today, the martini has more versions than Netflix has shows. Espresso, apple, chocolate, lychee, you name it.
Lychee,
But through it
it's
all,
lychee.
the classic
I've
remains
I've had a lychee version before and I liked it.
a symbol of style, control, and just the right amount of danger. Whether you like it dry, dirty, shaken, or stirred, the martini reminds us that some things never go out of style. So the next time someone orders a martini, you'll know. You're not just sipping a drink, you're tasting over 150 years of liquid history. Hit that like button, subscribe, and
All right, okay. So going back to I might just read off a couple things here because I am interested. I am interested in reading about these. Okay, so now by 1922, the martini had reached its most recognizable form, with which London dry gin and dry vermouth are combined at a ratio of 2-to-1, stirred in a mixing glass with ice cubes with an optional addition of orange or aromatic bitters, then strained into a chilled cocktail glass. Over time, the expected garnish became the drinker's choice of a green olive or a twist of lemon peel. Again, lemon is the logical choice, really. A dry martini, even if olive is like the iconic look for a martini, it still should be lemon. Or ordering a martini extra dry will result in even less or no vermouth added. In the Roaring Twenties, it became a common drink order. Over the course of the 20th century, the amount of vermouth steadily dropped. During the 1930s, the ratio was 3-1 gin to vermouth. And during the 1940s, the ratio was 4-1. During the latter part of the 20th century, 15-1, 5-1, or 6-1 dry martinis became considered the norm. Drier variations can go to 8-1, the 12-1, the 15-1, which is the Montgomery, after British Field Marshal Bernard Montgomery. I made a joke that this is Willie reincarnated, like he was reincarnated as Wilhelmina Frost. For a supposed penchant for attacking only when in possession of great numerical superiority. In 1966, the American Standards Association released K100.1.966, K100.1-966, Safety Code and Requirements for Dry Martinis, a tongue-in-cheek account of how to make a standard dry martini, which we will see here. Okay, hold on. No, apparently not. The latest revision of this document, K100-1-1974, was published by the American National Standards Institute, which is where, if you've seen Nile Red get any of his like purified stuff, this is where he gets it from. The successor to the ASA, although it is no longer an active standard. Hold on. Let's see if this works. Hold on, Wayback Machine. Standards are serious business. The American National Standard, Safety Code and Requirements for Dry Martinis, Secretariat of the Water Conservation League, Martini Cocktails Appearance. It was from the popular brand of sweet vermouth, Martini and Rossi, so I was right that the drink derived its name. Curiously, when dry, or French vermouth, was substituted for sweet vermouth, the drink was still called a dry martini cocktail, although it was not considered many decades later that the Italian firm of Martini and Rossi began to bottle an imitation French vermouth. At various times, the development of the classic or the American National Standard dry martini this is the American National Standard. This is like Bond does his own thing, but this is what the CIA drinks probably. The classic or American National Standard dry martini, consumers have exerted strong influence to improve the character of this tonic while asserting rigid preferences in the proportion of gin to the vermouth to the final product. However, the manufacturing and distributing elements of the martini picture have chosen to adhere to a standard based on color rather than proportion. As a result, consumers called for drier and drier martinis, by which they meant ones prepared with less and less vermouth, and distributors responded by providing a paler looking drink with either the same proportion of ingredients or else more vermouth of a water white color. It became evident that some areas of meeting the necessary of the venerable dry martini was to remain alive. It is hoped by the pioneering work of the 16-1 committee that will be well perceived by all elements of the industry, and that when the subcommittee sobers up, it will be in the condition to consider further developments in the state of the art. Okay. I know this is like supposed to be a joke. There's 10 pages. There are 10 pages to how to prepare a normal dry martini. And you know what? For the sake of it, I will read it out. A dry martini, a cocktail made with an English or American dry gin with at least 86 proof and dry vermouth, preferably French in origin, in accordance with the reference of the American National Standard. Extra dry martini, a meaningless expression used loosely by waiters and bartenders, is frequently the excuse for a supplementary charge, is often characterized by the exclusion of excessive melted ice, or an abundance of water white vermouth. French vermouth, a term generally applied to dry varieties of vermouth, whether they're actually produced in France or some other country. The true French product is an infusion of herbal extracts and an undistinguished white wine of the Midi region, characteristically pale brown in color. It has recently been produced in much lighter versions. And Gibson, an unpardonable form of perversion. See onion soup. Gin. Okay, so sizes, basic nomenclature. How would one make one? Of the following, the 3 ingredients shall be used for the preparation of an American National Standard Dry Martini. Olives. You know what? I'm not reading this anymore because I'm not drinking I am not drinking that with olive. But the cocktails of James Bond, I take a ridiculous pleasure in what I eat and drink. It is in Casino Royale that we're introduced to James Bond's unrefined drinking style. This is a man who knows what he wants, a man who has a habit of taking a lot of trouble over details. Few stories worth reading have been written that did not contain a drink of some sort in Ian Fleming's novels. Read like an extended lecture on the proper management of a drinking habit. Any evaluation of Bond would indicate serious alcohol and substance addiction. His average daily consumption of alcohol at one point in the region is in the region of half a bottle of spirits. Not quite what you want from your top secret agent, but not to worry, as Bond reflects in Thunderball, I can't do my work on carrot juice, life is too short. Although famous for his vodka martinis, while on duty, Bond consumes a wide variety of drinks, shaken or stirred, from champagne to beer. And he is more particular about his champagne. Dom Perignon, Bollinger, and Brut are the ones that I have heard him talk about. I think Dom Perignon and Bollinger are the ones that come to mind. Brut is the one used in New Year, but Bollinger is my preferred. Like Bollinger or Martini and Rossi Asti is my preferred version. Excuse me. Okay, from an Americano. Okay, the Americano holds the distinction of the very first drink Bond orders. Bond, who stipulates the use of Perrier, regards an appropriate drink when dining at an outdoor cafe. I measure Campari. I measure sweet vermouth. One measure Campari, 1 measure sweet vermouth, and soda water. So we'll look at so there's 2 on the Negroni, the Mojito, the Americano. Let's take a look at that. Okay.
What's going on, everybody?
It's Bond's
We're
apartment
back.
again.
It's been a while, but we're back. I put a new banner on my YouTube channel. It says new video every week. And I was like, you know what? So it's been like 3 weeks. So moving forward,
let's see what the Americano is about.
Try to do a new video every week. The Americano was first seen in Casino Royale. This is the first beverage that James Bond ever orders. The Americano.
Campari.
Casino Royale. Obviously, as time goes on and on, Bond makes other drinks more famous, mostly the martini, but it's kind of crazy to think the first ever drink Bond ordered, the first ever thing that Ian Fleming wrote, alcohol-wise for Bond, was the Americano. The Americano, as time went on, which the Americano is just sweet vermouth, Campari, soda water, either an orange slice or a lemon twist. Unlike the Negroni video, I can't get any an orange slice or a lemon twist. Unlike the Negroni video, I can't get any because you can do either. We're doing an orange today.
Why is the sensor so loud but his voice so low?
Relax. The Americano, as time went on, became less and less popular.
The Americano.
It's essentially a Negroni, but in a Negroni you replace the soda water with gin. So it's more alcohol, different flavor. But today, we've already done the Negroni. Let's start with the Americano. So what we need is ice. Let's get some ice. Something interesting also.
Okay, so it is, hold on. Mojito Americano. That is a composer Campari, which is a bitter aperitif, sweet vermouth, and club soda, garnished with a slice of lemon or an orange twist. I might have had one of these in Florence. I might have had one of these in Florence when I sat at there was this restaurant that my dad took me to after we explored some of the city. I might have had this before.
Negroni. Although, like a lot of different alcohols I've ordered, depending on the type of restaurant or bar you're at, you never know what glass it's coming in. But the Negroni is pretty much always in a whiskey glass.
Okay.
And this one,
So it's a highball.
you can do in either a whiskey glass or in a highball glass like we're doing today. The reason being for that is
So a tumbler or
the
a highball?
measurement of Campari and vermouth are equal, 1.5 ounces. So the only
1.5
thing
ounces.
that makes this drink go all the way to the top of this highball glass is the addition of the soda water. So obviously with a Negroni, you've got all three components.
Oh wow, that is a
variations of
distinct color. Very blood red.
So filling up a highball glass like this with just 3 different types of alcohols would be basically like a weird version of a Long Island iced tea. Which
Hold on, what did you say?
Highball glass is the addition of the soda water.
Soda water.
So
Okay.
obviously
Yeah.
with a
He does it with sparkling water. That's right.
Negroni, you've got all three components being variations of alcohol. So filling up a highball glass like this with
Like if you really I guess maybe I'm just talking out of my ass. If you wanted to really like, I wonder if there are like other variations of this that substitute the sparkling water for some kind of soda.
just 3 different types of alcohols would be basically like a weird version of a Long Island iced tea, which doesn't sound great. But like I said
There's the
earlier,
vermouth.
you can use highball or whiskey
Oh, it's a
glass
brown
for this
vermouth.
because the only difference is how much soda water you want in there. So today, as I said, we're doing the highball because that is what the recipe online
I think 2
calls
ounces
for.
of each would make for a
that
rather
simple.
strong drink that you
1
would
and
have like
1.5
early in the day.
Campari, vermouth. We'll stir it a little bit before we add anything else in. Sorry with
The
this,
way that it like
loud
that the
ice.
Campari leaves residue on the
Not my
ice is
favorite
really
thing.
interesting.
Give it a little chill. Okay.
With a lot of ice. Okay.
Then, soda water in.
Oh wow.
I've already lost some ice.
That does
There
look
you
good.
go. That's basically it. So now, I'll stir this again. Kind of reminds me of an Aperol Spritz. Obviously, just color-wise, not any aspect of this is
It might have been an
reminiscent of an
Aperol Spritz that I got.
We're gonna do, my wife, bless her soul, had cut this the other day in a very odd way. So we're gonna try to make
A blood
something out
orange
of
might be more
nothing
appropriate
here. Let's get rid of that.
for a garnish
We'll do a little bit thicker.
or a slice. Yeah, okay, that's a slice.
Bang.
You can really get the meat of the fruit. You can really taste it.
Orange wedge. Right
I
in
would
there.
love to taste that.
And there you go. The Americano.
I would love to taste
Bam.
that, honestly.
Of course, we got to try it. Remember, how is there orange on this sweatshirt? By the way, sweatshirt, SIS training gear. Shrub, I have enough. Shock. Lose it. I've never had one of these. It smells like Campari. Shock. I like that a lot. Best on the rocks, well chilled. Well, no
Just
shit.
on. Well,
No shit. That's very good. I feel like the Campari comes through a lot more than a Negroni. Obviously, because you've got soda water in there just to kind of give it that fizz, where in a Negroni, you've got the addition of gin. But I think maybe this would be, and help me out here in the comments, kind of like a more, dare I say, like summery version of a Negroni. You know, highball, orange wedge,
orange
soda
wedge.
water.
Sort of.
I feel like it's like a.
It's
like a
simple. I think I would
outdoor-
try. Like I would love to
you know,
try one
it's
of
like
these.
if you're trying to have a mojito, but you want a Negroni, you would order this. I don't know. I'm gonna get skewered in the comments for that. You know what I mean? Highball, ton of ice, very citrusy, bitter, but good.
And the citrus. Yeah.
I don't know. Comment.
So it's bitter. Yeah, like that would be interesting.
If you think that it's a summery drink, I think it's a summery version of a Negroni. There you go. Casino Royale, Americano, Ian Fleming, SIS training gear, Bonza Park.
And then, of course, mojito, Negroni. Where is that? There we go. And we're looking at that next because like it is a variation of something else. Hold on. Negroni. Besides the interesting name, this was ordered by Ember once during one of the phase like summer streams. So equal parts gin, vermouth rosso, and Campari. So Campari served with ice. Commonly garnished with an orange slice or an orange peel is considered an aperitif. So it is a slight alteration of the Negroni.
Hey, what's going on, guys? We're gonna make a Negroni today. We're making a fucking Negroni. Get the fuck out of here.
All right.
What's going on, guys? Welcome back.
Okay.
We are doing a new
Oh, Bound by Sapphire.
series called the Cocktails of Bond or the Drinks of Bond. Probably the Drinks.
Is it
of Bond.
supposed to
I don't want
like?
the
I
word
can't remember if it's supposed to look like
I
that.
haven't even had anything to drink. I'm already just feeling. So we're starting with the Negroni. Now, yes, believe it or not, Mr. Martini shaken not stirred.
A martini, shaken not stirred.
Sweet vermouth
Martini
and
pretty
club
much all the
soda.
time.
6 of them.
Campari. So this
We
is
obviously see him-
So this swaps the gin. The Americano swaps the gin in this version for club soda or something virgin.
Daniel Craig era drinking some scotch. Heineken, yes, he has had a Negroni. In the book, For Your Eyes Only, Bond orders a Negroni. The quote is, while waiting in the Elixir Bar in Rome, Bond orders an aperitif, the Negroni, Spagliato, with Prosecco. No, I'm just kidding. Which, honestly, I've had it.
With Prosecco.
It sucked. Maybe it was just
No, that's the wine I had. That's the wine I had with the Martini and Rossi brand. It was Prosecco that I really liked. It was white. Very very much liked it.
While waiting in the Elixir Bar in Rome, Bond
It looks like yeah, I guess this is an AI generated like version of Roger Moore.
orders an aperitif, the Negroni. We do not have Gordon's gin. Then he says, when teeth, the Negroni.
Gordon's, okay.
We do not have Gordon's gin. Then he says, when in Rome. So let's make it. You ready? Gordon's gin. Bar in Rome, Bond orders an aperitif, the Negroni. We do not have Gordon's gin. Then he says, when in Rome. So let's make it. You ready? It's one measure of gin, one measure of Campari,
Florence. Okay.
and then one measure of
This might have
Italian
been this alternatively might have been the one that I got with my dad.
vermouth, which
It might have
this
been a
is
spritz. It might have been one of
Italian.
these.
It literally says Giuseppe Carpano on it. Hey, Giuseppe, how you doing? I could be related to this guy. So, yes, I've got a lemon, not an orange. So me.
Close enough.
What can you do? It's fine. In a see-through glass. There you go. So we need an ounce or one measure of each, which is about an ounce, ounce and a half.
Ounces.
And all the guys that are big into cocktails, whatever it may be, as I walk around my parents' house here to make this video, because they've got a nicer kitchen. Don't get on my ass if one measure is not an ounce or whatever the case may be. Okay, we are going to start with one measure of Viva Las Vegas. One measure.
Viva New Vegas.
We're just gonna go.
So it is just a clear gin. It's just the blue bottle.
Okay. Damn. All right. So Sapphire, Bombay. Why do we have this? Looks cooler.
All right.
Looks cooler.
Yeah. So it's just a bottle color.
We'll do one measure, basically equal parts. There you go.
So this is probably supposed to be smaller than the Americano because this just contains more alcohol, and there's only liquor involved.
We'll just keep doing that as if we're sponsored.
Besides the ice.
But we're not. Bang.
Oh, that is
Now you've got
blood.
that bright red color, and you're thinking, what the hell? This looks like Kool-Aid. Once you add the vermouth,
Blood red.
once again,
Brown.
measure or equal parts, you will see the color change.
So it is like this is the authentic French vermouth that is like as mentioned in the standards in the standard section. It is very brown.
Let's keep this going here. We're doing a nice job displaying.
Of course, the U.S. government is wrong on this. This should be a lemon peel and not an olive.
Okay.
Oh, that is dark.
So
that is
now-
dark brown. I guess did they call it the Negroni because of that? Because of the appearance of the vermouth.
Thank you, Elvis. With once again, not the right thing, but a spoon. We will stir. You want this to get nice and cold. Kind of want a little bit of the water to get in there. Like I said, there's other ways to
Ironically, these could be shaken as well, I feel.
do this. You can do this whole mixing in a different glass, because as you do this, the ice is kind of gonna...
This would be this would be nice, like, shaken, unironically, because it would be diluted, and you could drink it more easily.
Get a little water in there, and then you would pour it with, like, kind of like a frother or a filter. To
Strainer,
pour
that's
it
what it
into
is.
this
Yes.
glass without the ice, and maybe have one big rock of ice in there, but we don't have all that. Yeah, but we don't have that. Yeah, but we don't have that. Inside joke. So now that you've done your stirring, which once again, I hope this is
Put a clear bit of ice in, shake it until it breaks, then drop it in.
loud. You would then either cut an orange or lemon, excuse me.
Normally,
but we're
yeah,
gonna
normally an
zest
orange.
this one instead. See, we're gonna
Alright.
do like the half-ass way, but also like the fancy way with just the zesting. So
Okay.
I actually like lemon. We'll kind of take this around the top like this, yeah.
Squeeze some.
And then
There we go.
plop it in. There you
All
go.
right.
Negroni.
Yeah, that's
Not
palatable.
Spagliato. Regular. For starters, Mom, I owe you a lemon. A, B. My wife and I, when we order Stella,
Okay.
we'll do it without a lime, we'll do it with a lemon. It truly brings out a different flavor. So I haven't tried Negroni with a lemon wedge or zest or whatever. I'm interested. Let's give it a whirl. It smells very lemony. It's still fantastic. Tastes the same. Like, let's be real. Part 3, number 3. I've lost count of where I'm at. Campari is the main thing. And
I do wonder how, like, again, this is probably like an affront to all cocktails, but I wonder if, like, having the meat of the fruit, how much having the meat of the fruit in the cocktail itself, when you're garnishing or zesting, like when you're garnishing it, how, like, having the meat of the fruit involved instead of just the skin, how much would that bring out, and would it dilute the taste of the main liquors too much? Because having that involved is something that, like, caught my eye, and like something I might be interested in doing.
Like, use whatever gin you want. It's not like Gordon's is something fantastic. You know, normally I'd use Aviation gin, which I think is more money than Gordon's, but I didn't have any. So Bombay Sapphire, there we go. That's it, plain and simple. Next one, we will do the Vesper Martini. And
We've
then
already
from
covered that
there,
extensively.
We've got some creme de menthe type things. We've
Hold
got
on,
some
let's see
fancy
if he
stuff. I've actually
let's see
done
if he
some
has
research on
any
this. We're gonna do some cool
playlists,
drinks, but today we're
drinks of
starting with my
Bond.
favorite,
No, he
Negroni.
doesn't.
Thank you guys for watching. Catch you on the next one.
All right. And then this is a favorite of mine, but I've never actually seen it be made.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. Today, the mojito.
Oh, excuse me. They're watching a movie downstairs.
Die another day. Let's do it. I just watched
Die Another Day, like,
Scarface.
Hold on.
I just watched Scarface like 3 days ago. So I've got the voice down. Cadillac. I could eat a horse. I kill for fun. Die Another Day. Most people think Die Another Day.
Oh, that's Bacardi. That's very nice.
Is
I
no
wish
good.
I wish I had a bottle of that, because all we have is Havana Club.
Sucks. It's good for like the first 45 minutes to an hour. Right after the mojito scene truly is when it goes downhill. I mean,
I don't care. I love it, man. I love Halle Berry in that scene.
mojitos are fantastic. You got Halle Berry in a bathing suit.
Would you look at that?
Making innuendo after innuendo.
Magnificent view.
It's got everything you need. Everything you need in one scene. Then after that, you got the guy with the diamonds in his face, and just the whole
I don't see the
face
problem.
change is stupid.
They did it in
But the
Metal Gear
drink's
Solid 5,
fantastic.
girl.
It's
Like,
actually
Cry about it.
Favorite, the mojito.
There we go. Mojito.
From Havana. What's wrong, sacarla? So we're gonna make mojito now. today.
Instead of doing the Italian one, he does the
Hey.
he does the he does the Cuban one pretty well.
I went out the other day to get this mint. Yeah, peep the shirt too.
Oh, that's Thunderball. That's Thunderball.
Havana. Actually, they filmed that in Spain.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do?
And it was
I went
extremely
out to get
cold.
This mint, and it was the only thing I needed. And then I was like, wait, I actually need rum too. So I go into the store. I'm behind this woman and like her mom. And when I mean woman, I mean like 40. And then like her mom, like 80. And she's like dicking around, looking around. And I'm like, you know, I just need some mint. So she starts walking and then she keeps looking behind her like I'm a predator. Look at my shirt. I haven't scared anybody in my entire life. So I'm like, you know, I'll pass her. And then she eventually just like, I almost got my ass kicked by a woman and her mother for this mint. So then eventually she sees me grab mint and rum and thinks, oh, he's a drunk. 11 a.m. He's a drunk on a, whatever, Tuesday or whatever it was. You really got to drink water right this second? So we need a knife. Okay, there's a few different ways, a few different orders to do things. But, and these limes are like little limes. They're so small. So
yeah, I prefer
we're gonna
them.
do this slightly.
I've made Cuba Libres before.
We're gonna start by
and I would like my limes larger as a result.
A lime into wedges here. And
something I like is like getting limes because you can use them like either for Corona or you can use them for you can do it for a mojito. I don't have the ingredients for a mojito, but you can really get the ingredients easy for a Cuba Libre.
And, depending on how many wedges this makes by size, yeah, so it's only gonna give us like about 4.
What would an equivalent fruit be for a Jack and Coke? Like a maraschino cherry? I think that would work.
Yeah, that's what we'll do. So we'll start.
Hey, I
with
think a maraschino cherry would work for a Jack, like
wedge. Jesus.
For a Jack and Coke.
3 lime wedges.
Not a like, or maybe something. I don't know, a cherry. What would
in our glass? I lied. We're gonna start with the mint. So I've already plucked the mint.
Okay.
See, it's kind of like a cooking show. Here's what it looked like before. Here's what we actually use. So we've got I've got about 8 here. So put the mint
in the bottom
to the glass, and then we'll do 3 lime wedges.
3 lime. Oh, you're not gonna crush them?
And we will.
There we go. There's a mortar and pestle.
Properly. Damn, this might not have been.
There we go.
It's kind of a lot of lime. Let me try to move this around.
Yeah, doing this in a glass probably isn't the best idea. Do it in like.
It's working all right.
Yeah, you should have done this in a metal shaker.
There we go. Muddle a little around.
There we go.
I mean, it already smells fantastic. This is truly my favorite drink. That is not for the video sake. This is my favorite drink by far.
Unironically, this is very good. Like it's up there next to the I stated earlier I really like Cuban cocktails, so this is probably like the mojito and the Cuba Libre are at the top there.
Once too, which is a bit of a bummer. So muddled. Now a spoonful of sugar, Mary Poppins.
Yeah, powdered like granulated sugar. All right.
Bang. We'll do just a hair more because who gives a shit. Next.
Yeah, this is gonna be very sweet. This is very sweet.
Like another wedge or 2. This is actually a very easy drink to make. It's just more so having the ingredients available to ye. So yeah, we'll do 2 more wedges. Do it like that this time. Muddle again. Get these juices going. You don't want to muddle it too much because then
you should have done this in the cocktail shaker.
From the actual skin there. So there's that. So next,
I know this is supposed to be like semi-layered, but like, come on, man.
We will fill the glass to the top with ice. Bang. What the f?
That's a chunk.
All right. You know, in the videos I watch online, people have this nice see-through ice. I've got this white ice.
It is what it is.
Can't just be nice, right? Okay. So next.
Bacardi.
2 ounces white rum.
2 ounces white rum.
Havana Club?
No.
Casa Cadillac. I couldn't find it, which kind of pissed me off.
I would prefer
2
Bacardi.
We're gonna do 2.5 ounces.
That's good. That's nice.
There you go. And then the rest to the top. Club soda.
Club soda. All right. Yeah, that's nice. I mean, functionally, you could use functionally, like you could take have no sugar at all, and just instead of maybe it's not as classy, but substituting Sprite or some kind of substituting Sprite for the club soda plus sugar could be a smart move.
And now mix. We mix. Get this stuff to move around here. Nice.
There we go.
That
looks amazing.
Make your presence known. There we go. Look at that.
What do you know?
It's like we're in Florida or Havana with a Cadillac. There you go. Bam.
There we go. That looks beautiful.
Last but not least.
Mojito.
We'll garnish.
With another
A
lime.
little lime. Trying to make it nice, even though I cut the edges off.
Yeah, this does look like
with the lime.
a few certain cocktails in Valhalla.
You know, what do you want to do?
His version, at least, because of the presence of limes in the
Cadillac
in the
mojito.
bottom.
Bang. Mojito. All right, let's try it. Probably the simplest and quickest to make. I guess maybe not. What we've done so far.
That looks
I
good.
hope it's good because honestly, don't make these at home. I only get them when I'm on vacation or whatever the case may be. So let's try it. I hope it's good because if it is, then we have a problem. Then I am going to be a drunk because I'm going to be making this on Mondays. That's really good. Now, I think the only thing I need to do is just kind of mix this a little more. Get everything kind of up to the top.
That is nice.
And I think one other thing I would do, just to criticize myself here, you know, butchering Bond Beverages, who actually is, if you've been watching the series, a nice guy. The guy who made that comment, nice guy. He took me kind of shining a light on that in the last video like a champ. So, respect. Overall, once you mix it, kind of doesn't matter. Let's try it again. Try it again here. All right. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, that looks like a damn good drink.
Die another day. Halle Berry. Bathing suit. Thanks for watching.
Hell yeah.
I keep saying it at the end of every video I've done so far, but the next one will be from the novel, but it will be a creme de menthe cocktail.
Creme de menthe.
More to come on that. Thanks for watching.
Hold on. Let's look at the chart again. I want to look at the chart again. How much does Bond drink? 2 glasses of vodka martini, 2 shots of Smirnoff Blue, 1 glass of Red Stripe. What's Red Stripe? Is that whiskey? It's beer. Red Stripe beer. So it's a Jamaican lager. Okay. Oh, so it looks like Coors Banquet, the Red Stripe. Hold on. The red stripe. 1 glass of black and white, 1 glass of Smirnoff Blue, half a glass of red wine, 1 glass of Dom Perignon 1955. That concludes Dr. No. Tattinger, Rocky, 2 bottles of Tattinger, 1 bottle of Rocky from Russia with Love, 1 glass of mint julep. We're gonna look at the Oh yeah, the mint julep. We should look at that next. Hold on. Mint julep. There we go. Hold on. Does he have one made on the mint julep? No, he doesn't. Hold on. With 1 glass of vodka martini shaken not stirred. 2 glasses of red wine. Hold on. A rum Collins. That's in Thunderball. Hold on. It's we don't have a apparently. Okay, so here's the thing. During Thunderball, what he served is a rum Collins, distinguished spirits, classic gin highball. Okay, so it's the same thing.
Today we're gonna make a classic, the Tom Collins.
Distinguished spirits. Cocktails and pussy galore.
For this drink, you're gonna need a Collins glass, a measuring cup, a measuring spoon, a bar spoon, a mixing glass.
Oh yeah, we have one of those.
Straw, a citrus juicer.
Is the straw really
and a
necessary?
small knife. This drink uses Old Tom gin, freshly squeezed lemon juice, soda
Tom
water,
Collins, but the
and granulated
the
sugar.
version was with white rum, so that came out as rum Collins.
Or optionally, simple syrup.
The
The movies would have you believe that James Bond only ever drank vodka in a martini glass. Shaken, not stirred, of course. And while he did do that in the books, he also drank so much more. And while various whiskeys would probably top his list of favorite spirits, in cocktails, he drank his fair share of gin. The most famous type of gin is London Dry gin. It's usually what recipes are referring to when they call for gin. However, in the mid-1800s, he drank his fair share of gin. The most famous type of gin is London Dry gin. It's usually what recipes are referring to when they call for gin. However, in the mid-1800s, if you saw gin in a recipe, it was most likely referring to Genever, which is considered the grandfather of London Dry gin. The reason it's the grandfather and not the father is because there was an intermediary step on the evolutionary ladder. Old Tom gin.
Hold on,
Gin
so-
recipe, when they call famous type of gin is London Dry gin.
London Dry gin.
It's usually what recipes are referring to when they call for gin. However, in the mid-1800s, if you saw gin in a recipe, it was most likely referring to Genever, which is considered the grandfather of London Dry gin. The reason it's the grandfather and not the father is because there was an intermediary step on the evolutionary ladder. Old Tom gin. Old Tom was the sweeter precursor to the drier, more assertive London Dry. If you don't have an Old Tom, sweeter precursor to the drier, more Old Tom was the sweeter precursor to the drier, more assertive London Dry.
So Old
If you don't
Tom
have an
might
Old
be
Tom
like
gin,
a
you
gin
can
that I
drink
might
the
try.
London Dry.
Try neat at least.
But it's made better with an Old Tom. In England, in the mid-1800s, the Genever version of this drink, known as the John Collins, was being served as a morning drink, or a hair of the dog drink. Something to start off your day. But sometime around the 1870s across the pond in America, the base spirit of the John Collins was hijacked by a newer style of gin. That gin was, of course, Old Tom gin. By swapping out the Genever for Old Tom, this drink helped the newer style of gin gain a foothold in America. The John Collins was forgotten, and the Tom Collins thrived. This type of spirit swapping was done again at a staggering scale in the late 20th century with vodka. Vodka ended up usurping most drinks that once called for gin as the base spirit, which gave birth to the vodka gimlet, vodka tonic, and most famously the kangaroo kicker, which was rebranded as the vodka martini.
Are you sure? AK the vodka You know what? We're gonna look at that next.
And James Bond, of course, played a big role in this coup. In the books, Bond never drank a Tom Collins on screen, so to speak. However, while crawling through a swamp in The Man with the Golden Gun, he envisioned one as part of a sort of mirage. He pictured a Jamaican banquet of suckling pig being served with an array of drinks, including champagne, whiskey sours, rum punches, and of course Tom Collins. Bond saw this feast in a fever dream of nervous exhaustion after being wounded in battle. This vision was his version of Shangri-La, and it's what helped keep him going.
Real though.
Before I get started, I like to
in the movie Thunderball, he drinks a version of this. Instead of gin, it's with rum.
Squeeze,
so it's bound to be
and bottle my
sweeter.
lemon juice. That way it's easier to pour when it comes time to measure. We'll start by chilling our glass. Fill it with ice and water and set it aside. Next, we're going to measure 2 ounces of Old Tom gin. Add that to the mixing glass. Measure an ounce of lemon juice. Add that to the mixing glass. Measure a teaspoon of sugar.
My bad, hold
Add
on.
that to the mixing glass. Fill it with ice. That way it's easier to pour when it comes time to measure. We'll start by chilling. Before I get started,
Okay, let's
I like
see.
to cut, squeeze, strain, and bottle my lemon juice.
You know what? I'm gonna sub to
That
this
way
guy.
it's easier to pour when it comes time to measure. Squeeze, strain, and bottle my lemon juice.
Lemon juice,
That way it's easier
okay.
to pour when it comes time to measure. We'll start by chilling our glass. Fill it with ice and water and set it aside. Next, we're going to measure 2 ounces of Old Tom gin.
Old Tom
Add
gin.
that to the mixing glass. Measure an ounce of lemon juice. Add that to the mixing glass.
Lemon
Measure a
juice.
teaspoon of sugar.
Sugar.
Add that to the mixing glass.
Hmm.
Or optionally, you can measure a teaspoon of simple syrup.
Simple syrup,
Add that to
alright.
the mixing glass. Then we're going to stir this one up until the sugar is dissolved. This will take a minute because the sugar won't want to dissolve right away. You could just use a teaspoon of simple syrup instead. That way it won't take quite as long. Dump the ice and water from your Collins glass. Drop in some large hunks of ice, and pour the contents of your mixing glass into your chilled Collins glass.
Oh, that
Top it up
viscosity
with soda
though.
water. Then cut a lemon wedge and give it a little notch on one side.
That is
Place the
beautiful
lemon wedge on
looking.
your drink for garnish, and pop in your fancy straw.
No need for the straw,
And
just
that's
drink
all
it
there
as
is
it
to
is.
it. A drink worth fantasizing about. The Tom Collins. Cheers.
Tom Collins, alright, you know, hold on. Tom Collins, made from gin, lemon juice, sugar, and carbonated water. This gin and sparkling lemonade drink is usually served in a Collins glass over ice with a cherry garnish. A non-alcoholic Collins mixer is produced, some enjoyed by some as a soft drink. A John Collins has, long drink of London dry gin, lemon juice, sugar, and carbonated water. So that has both lemon and delicious, very nice summertime drink as the caption. So a maraschino cherry and a lemon with that. Wine glass full of Old Tom gin. Hold on, variants. A rum Collins. A rum Collins, also known as a Ron Collins, uses white rum in place of gin and lime juice in place of lemon juice. So lime juice instead of that. And you know what? We're gonna look at the
Today we're
vodka
gonna make
martini.
quintessential Bond cocktail, the Kangaroo Kicker, erroneously known as the vodka martini.
Spicy margarita.
For this drink, you're gonna need a coupe glass, a graduated double jigger.
We're not gonna
a
look at
vegetable
all of
peeler,
them, but we
a Hawthorne
like.
strainer,
It's nice to see
a
it
fine
there.
mesh strainer, a cocktail shaker,
Well-
and optionally, a cutting board and a small knife. This drink uses vodka, dry vermouth,
Dry vermouth.
and a
Okay.
lemon peel for garnish. By virtue of its ingredients, this drink should be stirred over ice and strained into a chilled cocktail glass like a dry martini. But since this is being made the Bond way, we'll honor his request to shake and not stir.
Alright.
I like using strong vodka. Today's standard for vodka is 80 proof, like
Stoli.
most other spirits. But like most other spirits, in Bond's day they were higher proof. So I like using Stoli 100, but any 100
wow.
proof vodka will do.
So
Before we go any
50% alcohol
further,
by volume.
Let's get something straight. This one may look like a martini and quack like a martini, but it ain't a martini. It's a kangaroo kicker. The kangaroo, or kangaroo kicker, has been hijacked by pop culture and is most often referred to as a vodka martini. There's no such thing as a vodka martini.
So he
The
insists that
kangaroo was
martinis are
rebranded
made
to
with
allude to the
gin.
more famous drink, the dry martini. But the vodka martini won the PR battle, and for several decades the word martini was mistakenly used to refer to this drink, the kangaroo kicker.
It's still a
The
martini.
abbreviation martini should only refer to a dry martini, which consists of gin, dry vermouth, bitters, and a lemon peel. A kangaroo kicker is vodka, dry vermouth, and a lemon peel. However, it was Ian Fleming and James Bond who were largely responsible for this confusion. The Bond movies have made this the quintessential Bond cocktail, and were responsible for making it a signifier of gentlemanly behavior and sophisticated taste. Bond, however, tended to do things for show. He was a spy, and he often played different characters. Bond drank a lot of different drinks, but often...
This music is too loud.
Bond would drink whiskey highballs, or vodka tonics.
Hold on.
Often, when alone, Bond would drink whiskey highballs, or
Whiskey
vodka
highball
tonics.
or whiskey highball or vodka tonic.
He would ask for certain drinks in public to help create a certain image. His irreverent behavior and daringness set the tone for everyone around him. That's why he ordered such a unique drink in Casino Royale, a modified dry martini that became the iconic cocktail, the Vesper. This may be part of the reason he asked for a little over half of his martinis to be made with vodka and to be shaken, not stirred. At the time, that was a startling request, and one that would get people's attention or put them off guard. The Kangaroo is a fine drink. It's stiff and bold. It was originally made at a 2-to-1 ratio. But Bond once specified that it be made at 6-to-1. In the book Live and Let Die, his love interest Solitaire serves him his drink, but is totally unsure of herself and is worried that 6-to-1 is too strong. For my tastes, she's
6-to-1. So 6.
Right. It leaves too much of an acrid, burning aftertaste that's characteristic of straight vodka. I prefer it at 3-to-1.
Yeah.
But don't let me stop you from making it the way Bond did.
I think a wet martini, because vodka is so neutral, having vermouth as the main flavoring agent, you'd probably want more vermouth.
We'll start by chilling our glass, fill it with ice, and set it aside. Next, we're going to measure 1.5 ounces of vodka, add that to the mixing glass, measure 1/2 ounce of dry
This is finally we're getting to the actual vodka martini.
Add ice, and because it's Bond's catchphrase, we're going to serve
Shaken,
it shaken,
not stirred.
Not stirred. You'll want to shake this one for a good 30 to 40 seconds. You really want to make it ice cold, and give it a little dilution. Dump the ice from your coupe glass, then double strain the contents of your shaker into your chilled coupe glass. The fine mesh strainer will help collect all the little ice chips, and help give the drink a cleaner appearance. Next, cut a large slice of lemon
I like the
peel,
ice chips
being careful not to cut into the white pith. And because this is a Bond cocktail, we're going to clean up the edges of our lemon twist. This is strictly for presentation's sake. Express the oils of your lemon twist over the drink.
It doesn't need to be cut like that, really. Just I think it looks better. I think it just looks better without the with the irregular edges.
And there it is. The famous shaken not stirred cocktail. The Kangaroo Kicker. Mistakenly referred to by Fleming, Bond, and almost everyone else.
Including me, and I'm not going to change that. Is the vodka martini. But yeah, this looks pretty cool. This guy, the Vesper, the Red Snapper, the Old Fashioned, the Dry Martini. Let's see if he has the raw gin and tonic, the Negroni, vodka tonic, Scotch and soda, Irish coffee, the Japanese highball, the Stinger, the Black Velvet, the Bacardi, the Moonraker, the Revolver. So he doesn't have the at least this guy has the mint julep. Okay.
It's Derby season. We're gonna make the mint julep.
There's the mint julep. Okay. This is from Goldfinger, where he does one of these, and I might like this because it has a lot of ingredients that I like. I've never had one of these before, but I would gladly try one.
The word julep used
this guy's
originally
back.
meant medicine. It was a medicinal thing. Whether or not it was actually medicinal is up to whether or not you think bloodletting and leeches is actually medicinal. Probably, because it's a very old term. It comes from like 600 AD. At some point, it became an excuse, like as a joke in a tongue-in-cheek way, that your julep was medicinal, but it was actually just alcohol. It was similar to folks who would wake up and say, "Did you have your bitters this morning?" Which was really, "Did you have a cocktail this morning?" Or, "Do you have to have a cocktail in the morning?"
No, I'm not
David
familiar
wanted
with
to
this
compare it
expression.
To waking up and having a bong rip. So this is not medicinal. This is just for inebriation purposes. Mint julep is a long history. Most popularly, it was made with brandy, actually, or cognac. I'm not a purist. I'm just not. The mint julep is now commonly made with bourbon. I'm going to make mine with bourbon. At some point, I'll probably do a history of the mint juleps episode similar to the old-fashioned one, but this is not that episode. So I will talk about that, and I might make some nods in that direction and test some things. One thing I will do this.
But again, I know this from Goldfinger because he gets served one in
So we're going to
Kentucky.
use a little bit of Angostura bitters in a mint julep. That's totally optional. I just happen to like it that way. And really, this is that kind of a drink. It should be made the way that you like. So let's get going. We're going to need a 1/4 ounce of our Demerara simple syrup. And really, that's light. You could go a little
Hold
more.
on, a mint.
So I think I'm going to actually split the difference. I'm going to go between a 1/4 and a
You
half
know what?
ounce here.
We're doing the
I have a bit of a- I think
we're
I'm
doing the
gonna
drink,
actually
the
split difference. I'm
bartending
gonna go
porn. So
between a 1/4 and a half an ounce here.
Yeah, show that
I have
off.
a bit of a sweet tooth, to be frank, and I like my mint julep to be a little bit more on the sweet side of the spectrum.
that looks good though. Hold on, let me fish the let me fish the origin of the bourbon. Bourbon, yeah, I love bourbon as well. Bourbon, Tennessee whiskey, and rum are the best. To me, the best kinds of liquor. Bourbon-based cocktails associated with the South. Okay, bourbon, sugar, water, crushed or shaved ice, and fresh mint on the rocks. Poured over ice. Okay, so the base spirit should be bourbon. And get well,
If you don't, that's fine. Do I muddle my mint? I do. I like my mint muddled. Now, I understand that for some
as a
reason,
plant.
some people get very up in arms about that. There is a whole tradition that says you should take a bouquet of mint, hold it in your hand. I've goofed, I've put syrup in this so I can't demonstrate, unfortunately. Hold it in your hand, turn the glass upside down, put it over the top, and just kind of rub it around inside, and that should be enough. I don't know, I like my mint a little bit mintier. I would say 10 leaves would be enough, but these are particularly small leaves, so we're gonna go with a little bit more than 10.
just put the whole plant in there. Put the whole plant in there.
Let's go 15. 16.
Put the whole plant in there.
I'll go 2 more. I like
Put
my
the whole-
mint julep minty.
put the whole
muddle
plant
it.
in there.
You muddle it. When you muddle, you don't want to destroy the thing you're muddling. You just want to press it. You're just trying to get it to express some of its essence. I like my mint juleps to be on
Make
the
it bleed a little.
boozy side. I feel like it should be. So we're gonna go with 3 ounces of bourbon.
What kind? I think wild turkey is the kind of that I'm fond of. Because I know that Jim Beam and Jack Daniels are considered their own thing. Oh, that looks good. 3 ounce
2
bourbon, okay.
ounces and another one makes 3. The next part of the big mystery, the big question.
Oh, he
is,
spilled a
do I use crushed
lot.
ice? Do I use shaved ice? Or do I use cracked ice? I think cracked would be pretty traditional, and so would be shaved, but I'm actually going to crush my ice. Before I add the
Okay.
crushed ice, I'm going to throw in my 2 dashes of Angostura bitters.
Okay. 2 ounces of bitters.
What I want to do now is I want to put enough ice in here to go
2 dashes of bitters, I mean,
about
not
here
ounces.
in this drink. I don't want to go all the way yet. And there's another thing.
Maybe a
lot of
third one
people
to
take this
balance it with a
frost
3
outside
with the
of the
3
drink
ounces of
very
gin
seriously. If you want
of
that,
bourbon.
do not touch the glass. Be very careful. Either wear gloves, as some folks do, or only touch the rim, because the oils on your hands will prevent frost from forming.
Okay, so frost it
I
over.
want to swizzle this a little bit. Now, you could do that with a bar spoon. You could do that with the spoon you're going to drink it with. I mean, I happen to have an actual swizzle stick, and this is a lot like a swizzle, so I'm going to
A swizzle. Okay, so just
kind of working all these ingredients together.
swizzling. Okay, that's a term. That's a term I.
Okay. Already that frost is starting to form on the drink. So now I want to add the rest of my ice. And what we're going for here is kind of a lot of ice. We want like a big kind of dome of ice. Now we need the mint. I've selected my mint. I've got a lot of mint here. This drink does call for a full-on bouquet of mint, and so it's important to use a lot of mint. I want to take all my mint, and I'm just gonna somewhat gently, you get a feel for this, give it a clap. Maybe 2, just to awaken the cells
Awaken
and
the
jostle
flavor.
that mint oil loose from them. And because I've already kind of packed this ice, I'm gonna create an opening here for my mint. And I'm going to...
That's a lot of mint. Yeah. I don't think this is well.
Looks very nice. And that
Garnish with mint.
straw should go near the mint so that the drinker has to put their face near the mint. Did a pretty good job here. We got a pretty decent, healthy thing of frost here. It's kind of frozen.
It's
let's see how it is.
That's quite flowery. It's a lot of plant in that drink.
That is really something. You get such mint nose taste. It's right up in your face, and it's very.
Let me I might find the Goldfinger version of this.
That's the whole idea, right? You want to put that
because that is a lot. That is an excessive amount of plant in there.
But then it immediately is overtaken as soon as that bourbon hits your lips by the bourbon, by those boiled peanuts, and the spiciness actually comes out forward here, and it brings. I'm getting what I think is peanut, but I could be wrong. Maybe some caramel. It's a great mint julep. What's funny about a drink on crushed ice, a lot of people think that, it's got a very short glass life.
One with bourbon, one with Jack Daniels? Okay.
That's actually not the truth. Because with the crushed ice, that surface area, the liquid actually cools well below the freezing point, which and stays there for quite a while. Which means that the ice...
This is kind of what a mint julep kind of looks like to me.
The area of ice to the volume of liquid. It's complicated stuff. I'm not really that smart about that stuff.
That's what it would look like to me.
On a crushed ice drink, you'll get that frost on the outside. Mai Tai will do the same thing. So it is a sip and drink. You can enjoy this for quite a while. There is a tradition that says that a splash of Jamaican rum on the top of this would not be out of character.
Actually, that sounds beautiful.
I've never tried that, but I'm going to try it today. I like this drink as it is.
That would make it all the more Bondian.
This is going to have much of effect. And when I say a splash, I mean like a quarter ounce, a splash. So we'll just add that.
Put in a whole ass ounce in there. Like, I want to see how that is.
That's interesting. I wasn't expecting what I got. That's a lot different than I like that. I like rum, so that could be a factor.
Yeah.
Something about the fruit notes, the banana, because that particular rum has got a lot of banana funk. With the mint, it really works. I don't know. That actually, I like that a lot. It's a great showcase for the bourbon. The bourbon is very dominant in this drink. It is not.
So I'm gonna like it then. I'm very fond of bourbon.
There's no question.
Very, very fond of bourbon on the rocks.
And it is getting better. Yeah, a little time in the beaker does help this. So I've read that traditionally a mint julep needs to be sat for about 5 minutes before anybody serves it and
all right,
hands it to somebody. I think it needs a little bit of melt time, a little bit of dilution. It is
so there are many components to it.
It's a strong drink. It is something that will knock you straight onto your ass. Probably necessary after your chosen horse does not make it first past the finish line.
Musume reference in my James Bond stream. Uma Musume.
The Derby, the Kentucky Derby.
But yeah, this is the Uma as Mollington calls it. This is the Uma Musume drink. This is the mint julep. More ice, stick a mint bouquet in it, and then add the Jamaican rum, the dark rum.
Name my horse Black Betty. I would name my horse Black Betty. With black, I would name.
It's already what the hell? Whatever, man. This is that'll be for another time. This, and that will be for another time. Let's revisit the Negroni for a second. Why the Negroni is the ultimate gentleman's drink. Okay. And then we'll round off
James Bond. The name alone conjures up.
Oh yeah, this guy. This guy's back.
High stakes poker games, and of course, perfectly crafted cocktails. So far on this channel, I've covered his signature Vesper Martini and the Old Fashioned. But there's another classic that makes a rare.
We're gonna look at the Old Fashioned to round it off.
The Negroni.
Because I think we've been loitering long enough.
Cocktail has a rich history dating back over a century, and has been the favorite of many, including Anthony Bourdain, Ernest Hemingway, and Orson Welles, who actually helped popularize it in America.
Oh, wow.
In this video, we'll uncover the origins of the Negroni, its rare yet iconic moments in Bond's world, and most importantly, how to craft one worthy of the secret agent himself. So grab a glass and let's dive into it. This cocktail has been turning heads for over a century. Although its exact origins cannot be confirmed, the most widely reported origin story begins in Florence, Italy, in 1990.
Oh wow!
When an Italian aristocrat, Count Camillo Negroni,
Yeah, having been to Florence, it is just as beautiful as it was back then.
Usual Americano, which was made of Campari, sweet vermouth, and soda, just wasn't strong enough. So he asked his bartender to swap the soda for gin.
Oh, so I thought the Negroni came first before the Americano, but according to this guy, it was the other way around.
The result? A drink as refined as it is potent. It didn't take long for the Negroni to become a favorite among those who appreciated a little bite with their elegance. It's the perfect balance of bitter, sweet, and strong. Over the years, the Negroni has become a signature drink of the bold and the stylish. Anthony Bourdain called it a favorite. Ernest Hemingway, always one for a strong drink, was known to indulge. And Orson Welles, upon trying one, famously said, "The bitters are excellent for your liver. The gin is bad for you. They balance each other." And more recently, Stanley Tucci turned the Negroni into a viral sensation with his now iconic at-home cocktail tea.
Wait, what?
Turned the Negroni into a viral sensation with his
He has a wife? I thought it was gay.
Turned the Negroni into a viral sensation with his...
He's relaxed. He's chatting with his wife. No, I didn't.
Iconic at-home cocktail.
I didn't
Even
know.
modern icons like...
Is it bad that I didn't know Stanley Tucci was straight? He's played so many gay characters that like I thought it was gay.
David Beckham, through a partnership with Head Club Whiskey, created a Sun-groni, which is a summer twist on the classic Negroni. Now let's talk about how the world's most famous spy
I don't know a lot about Stanley Tucci.
Bond's connection to the Negroni is featured in Ian Fleming's short story Risico, which later inspired parts of For Your Eyes Only. Bond is sent to Italy to investigate a drug smuggling operation. While on mission, Bond orders a Negroni at the Excelsior bar in Rome, specifying Gordon's gin. Unlike his famous vodka martini, this moment is more understated but still. Bond orders a Negroni at the Excelsior bar in Rome, specifying Gordon's gin. Unlike his famous vodka martini, this moment is more understated but still significant. It shows Bond blending into his surroundings, embracing the local culture, and as always, maintaining his refined taste. Though he's often portrayed as a martini purist, these subtle moments show that 007 isn't afraid to enjoy other classics when the setting calls for it. So what makes the Negroni a drink fit for a secret agent? It's bold, balanced, and undeniably stylish. It doesn't rely on fancy shaking techniques or obscure ingredients, just 3 simple components stirred to perfection. It's the kind of drink that doesn't need to introduce itself. It simply is. The Negroni that we're making today is from Shaken, the official cocktail book of Ian Fleming and James Bond. Now, this drink has been around for over a century, and in all that time, it really hasn't changed. 3 ingredients, equal parts. No unnecessary flourishes, no tricks, just balance, strength, and a little bit of bite. To make this drink like James Bond, the 3 ingredients that you'll need are London dry gin, Campari, and sweet vermouth. And we know that James Bond has a preference for Gordon's gin, so that's what I'll be using for my drink here today. I also have Campari right here. Campari is a bright red Italian aperitif, known for its bold bitterness and complex herbal flavors. Campari is bitter, citrusy, and herbal, with notes of orange peel, cherry, clove, cinnamon, and a touch of sweetness. Its strong, complex flavor is what gives the Negroni its signature edge. And then also, I have our sweet vermouth right here.
Hey, Martini Rossi.
Sweet vermouth is a fortified wine infused with herbs, spices, and botanicals, with added sugar to give it a rich, smooth sweetness. We'll also
the red martini in the thumbnail is something I came up with, in which a martini would be made with Martini Rosso vermouth and sloe gin. Where is that? Slow. A red sloe gin.
also need our orange for the garnish, and of course, plenty of ice. We'll be making this drink directly in the glass. Now, we really should be using a rocks glass to make this drink, but I don't have one on hand, so I'll be using a regular glass for this video. The recipe is quite simple. First, we take our large piece of ice, and we're going to place it in the glass. Then we'll take our Gordons, and we're going to add 25 milliliters to the glass.
All right.
Once our Gordon's is added,
25. Hold on.
to the glass.
25 milliliters. Okay, so you know what? It's not right. Just throw in an ounce.
Once
It's
our
not going to be the
Gordon's is
same every
added,
time.
then we're going to take our Campari. And again, it's equal parts. So we're going to add 25 milliliters.
Just add an entire ounce.
There we go.
That is blood red, of course. I've been saying that whole stream.
Now, the Campari is where the Negroni gets its signature bitterness. So it's very important to add that. And then lastly, we're going to add our sweet vermouth.
Sweet vermouth, all right.
Again, 25 milliliters.
Oh, that's dark. That's deep red as well.
The vermouth really brings everything together.
That could be like, you could do another, hold on. Is that half an ounce? So it's 3 parts.
Perfect.
All 3 parts. All this could be a 6-part.
The vermouth really brings everything together. The richness, the depth, and the touch of sweet.
One part each. This could be 2 parts each because of the size of that glass.
Of the vermouth really helps round out the sharpness of the gin.
Oh, I didn't know you were reacting to Dantiok. Sorry.
So then we're going to stir.
I didn't know. What were you saying? What were you laughing at?
Now, when it comes to stirring, we want to stir a little bit until it dilutes the taste. Some may prefer to stir for only a short little bit of time for a more punchy drink, while others may prefer to stir for a bit longer, especially those who drink at pace. So it all depends on how much you want the ice to melt to impact the taste of the drink.
Oh, he's been stirring for a while.
That's pretty good. Once we're done stirring, we need to add our garnish. So we're going to take our orange and we're going to peel off a nice big slice.
Oh, it's orange zest. Okay.
And then once we have our slice, we're going to
I think a blood orange would make the do the best here.
Some
like
of the oils
the meat of the blood
inside.
orange as well.
And then you can place
Tail
on top,
did a mead, a blood orange mead for Anya, and I think that looks gorgeous, and I would love to taste it as well.
We're just going to toss it right in. And there it is, the Negroni, just like James Bond would make it. Now you know the history, the technique, and what makes this cocktail a legend. The only thing left to do is to try it. It's quite bitter. You can really taste the bitterness of the Campari, but this drink really comes with a punch. And that punch is going to be impacted, like I said earlier in the video, by how much you stir and dilute the ice. If you stir longer and the ice melts more, that'll dilute the drink.
So
but if you stir
diluted.
less and drink it right away, it's going to come with a full flavorful punch. I think overall this drink for me is a 7 out of 10.
Yeah, again, I might dilute it a lot more because I'm not the I want it to go down smooth.
The Negroni. It's been around for over a century and it's not going anywhere. A drink with history, character, and just the right amount of bite. A favorite of legends, artists, and on occasion, spies. So now you know how to make it just like James Bond would. If you like this video, please give it a
And then as a treat for we're gonna finish with the old fashioned because I don't think I'm familiar with the 1 glass of rum Collins, Dom Perignon 59, and the drinks of Bond, Scotch and soda, Vesper, the Americano, the old fashioned. We're gonna learn about the old fashioned as our finisher. And as a treat for everyone at the end. Oh, another one from Bond's apartment. Probably gonna have to raise the volume.
Old-fashioned, as seen in none of the movies, but 3 of the books.
None of the movies, 3 of the books. Yeah, how natural.
I said in the intro, the old-fashioned, one of the most gentlemanly drinks, an incredible drink. A drink associated with James Bond, but it's a drink that we never see him order on film. But he does drink it in Live and Let Die, Diamonds Are Forever, and Thunderball. Hence why it has been part of our series that is, I was going to say new series. It's a series that's probably a year old. And I haven't done one of these in probably 6-7 months. Drinks of Bond. So
All right.
today, we're going to make the old fashioned. What? Oh, look.
All right, then. Good dog.
So how we're going to start.
Ferrucci. What is that?
Sugar cube. We're doing
it's
legit.
Is that like caramel? Is that caramelized?
I've noticed is put just a little touch of water on that sugar cube. It's easier to muddle that way.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. Bang. Just a dash. Next, Angostura bitters.
Angostura bitters.
I
All right.
that right. I probably didn't, but guess what? I don't care on this channel. We'll do like 3 dashes of that.
All right. Okay.
I like to add a little something. Cherry bitters.
Cherry bitters. Okay.
Do like 2 dashes of.
I don't think that's part of the. Let's look at the old fashioned mint julep and the old fashioned, because I know this is like in the like this cultural impact. No, Don Draper, character of Mad Men. This is this is also the Bond cocktails, a Bond cocktail as well. Muddling sugar with bitters and water, adding whiskey. Ooh, I'm gonna like that. And garnishing with an orange slice or zest in a cocktail. Cherry. So it's gonna be very sweet. I'm gonna like that.
Trust me, it's good stuff. Now, muddle.
Crush the sugar.
I absolutely prefer doing this over simple syrup, of course. Next, we've got 2 measures of bourbon.
2 measures of bourbon, 2 ounces bourbon. Okay.
Bourbon
there. All right.
Ice.
And stir.
A little stir.
I feel like there could be more.
The orange peel. You can use a peeler.
I feel like this is very small.
Man, you can just peel this yourself.
I feel like this is very.
My niece asked me the other day, "Why don't you just put a whole orange in there?" Because it's just a garnish, man. Just garnish, kiddo. Me and my brother Don were drinking these. Whoops. All Christmas.
Yeah, that looks like
holiday break.
That looks
we
like
2/5 of bourbon.
That looks like again.
Old-fashioned.
I wish I wish there was more in it.
Good.
There was more, like put in 2 sugar cubes, put in 4 ounces, because like you're not using the glass to its full potential. I get that it's classier, that if the glass is like lower or it's more appropriate to the drink itself, but you can double it. You can double it because like you're not using the glasses size to its full potential. Something.
I guess.
Oh, earlier when you thought that guy was gay, 6'7". Oh, Stanley Tucci. Yeah, I thought Stanley Tucci was gay because I'd never seen him play a straight character in a movie.
And the martini thing.
I never have.
These are so much better. And Vespers, I'm honestly not a fan. Want an old fashioned?
That's cute.
Excited he gets? You want an old fashioned? Just kidding. Thank you guys for watching. That is.
Here's the thing. What if you threw in the orange slice with it? Like, I get it. It's supposed to be a garnish. You're not supposed to it's supposed to be the aromatic oils. But what if you cut the orange, cut some of the meat, you muddled it with the sugar? How would that taste?
Is another installment of Drinks of Bond on Bond's Apartment. Luke, of course. Thank you guys for watching as always.
6'7". And you know what? As a final treat for you and me, Dantioch, look what we have here. Look who we have here. Again, I'm not like a fan of Vanity Fair or whatever, but look, it's look. You can't really resist if it's like if it's Ana de Armas making making a cocktail. I'm not gonna deny you that.
Then you're gonna get.
Oh wow, she looks beautiful in this. I'm not joking.
Bourbon.
I'm simping. I'm simping. Fucking hell. She looks utterly fine in this.
Seems like I've been drinking already.
She is looking absolutely fine. Treat for you
Hey,
and me.
Vanity Fair. This is Ana de Armas. Welcome to the after party. And I'm gonna teach you how to make my perfect old fashioned.
You know what? We'll go full screen for this one.
I mean,
We'll
I
go-
usually go for two other drinks. Mojitos or lychee martinis.
Lychee, like I've had both, and again, good taste. And she is herself a Bond girl, although in a bad she's a great Bond girl in a bad movie.
So only a year ago I learned how to make this old fashioned, and now I love it. I don't usually like whiskeys or bourbon or any
That's
of
a
that.
shame. She should try it more.
Because I have these cherries, that changes it all. Old fashioned is good at all times. I mean, I don't like, truly any time. Old fashions to get in the pool, or fashions to in winter time. Yeah, anytime. It's dangerous because when the ice starts melting, it gets better. So you start drinking more. I don't know. I mean, with two old fashions, I'm good. The third one is right before going to bed.
She looks utterly fine in
so
that. I'm like
I loved it.
worthy of worthy of being a fellow Cupid in that.
These cherries. The
I'm
beginning
sorry.
of making
I'm
this
simping.
drink is already
That is a
giving you
damn-
the secret.
she looks damn
The first
fine.
thing that we're gonna do is to get the syrup. The idea
Oh,
is
oh,
just to get
the cherry, the maraschino, the syrup for the maraschino cherry. That's not often discussed enough.
enough syrup just to make a thin coat of it at the bottom of the glass.
All right. Okay.
But just because I like sweet things.
Yes.
I'm
All
putting
right.
extra.
Little bit more. Make it blood red.
Then
like
you
your
get
soup.
the orange bitters, right?
Angostura,
do
like orange bitters.
1
Okay.
and 2. Then you get
Hold on. Sorry to take you away from Anna. I looked this up before about the orange bitters. Yeah, the House of Angostura. So it's Angostura bitters. Several oranges, cardamom, caraway seed, cocktail flavoring. Okay, so it's bitters. Alcoholic preparation, botanical matter for a bitter or bittersweet flavor. Okay. Okay, let's go back to Ana de Armas.
the spices one. Do
Hell
some
yeah.
of that.
Yeah, 3
Then
Angostura.
you're gonna get
How many?
bitters, right? And you do 1 and 2.
1,
Then you
2.
get
Well,
the
that's a bit
spices
more.
One. Do 3 of that.
Angostura.
Then you're gonna get the bourbon. I love this one, by the way. I don't know why. It's the one I learned.
Well, what kind? Well, again, I would put in wild turkey because I've been around it for a while, in a good way, not in like a weird way. But yeah, that would be my choice. How
This one, by
many?
the way. I don't know why. It's the one I learned with. 1
1,
and 2.
2 ounces bourbon. Okay. Well, again, you could always do
This is the
4.
moment of getting the cherries in. I put 3 because, again, I love sweet things. And
Very nice.
when they're just sitting there, after a while, they're soaking in the bourbon. At the end, you eat them.
Very.
That's good. Then you put the ice. I
All
usually,
right.
if I had some cinnamon sticks, I would put 1 in there. Then you put the cherries.
No sugar.
Put the orange.
Skin that orange.
Not bad.
Oh wow, that.
So you kind of like twist it to get all of that orange. Then you just put
Her
it
liking
all
mojitos makes
over
sense because she
the
is
orange.
Spanish Cuban.
And then you put the orange in there too. So yeah, this is my old fashioned. It's not
would
very
prefer-
fancy, but who cares? It's
I
the
would
after
prefer
party.
with a bit more sugar, but
It's really good. And
Wow,
I'm
she
gonna eat a
looks
cherry. That's good.
good looking woman.
Cheers.
And like the outfit, wish she did put a bit more sugar in the cocktail, because I would prefer it with more sugar and more bourbon. That's how, at least that's how I would handle it. Anyways, you know what? Ending on that. Ending on that beautiful sight. Thank you everyone who came. I am ending off for now. Next week I'll hopefully try and get Metal Gear up and running. Thank you Dantiok. Thank you Terrible Artists, especially for the insults. Thank you Thami. And I think that's it. I think that's all. Yeah, we got a decent amount of people in here. Thank you everyone who came to love, and I don't think there's enough people to raid, so I will just see you next time. I will be next week we'll be trying to get Metal Gear to work for Metal Gear Day, so thank you everyone who came. O2